You're just
I'm not
asserting that
willing.
it
I'm not going to
benefits.
defend that as my main thing.
I can point to it. I can point to it.
Talk about
By
it.
the way.
Go ahead.
I think Trump uses what's known as wedge issues, which are issues that don't affect the general public, and therefore these issues are inorganically creating outrage among the far right. One example was the trans people in bathroom stuff. Like if you already look at it, there's laws against doing illegal stuff in bathrooms already, and trans people are minorities. So you're literally getting people afraid of someone that you're not even likely to encounter in that way to begin with.
Totally
So I'm
agree.
sorry.
So where
I'm sorry,
where is Trump doing a top-down push using the wedge issue of feminism or gender wars as we understand it?
You don't
Can you
think
show
that
me an
some-
example of that?
Who's
If the
head of
narrative
state
comes
doing
from
that?
Trump, it's by definition from the top, right?
Yes. So I'm asking you, where is it coming from Trump?
I don't think Trump.
I've
really-
literally never
the
heard him
Russian
say
bots
any of
on
these
Twitter.
talking points.
Does he originate any of these talking points at all? Do you don't think some of the things that he says?
Can we,
I don't think he does.
panel, please. This
Nice.
is like my 5th time asking you.
Some guy just yelled out, "Move, nigga." Yeah, he's right there. He's right over there. Oh fuck.
If you have an interjection or something, and if it's just a one-liner, save it. Nobody cares what you're about to say in terms of a one-liner. Just hold your breath, wait until they're done, and then you can respond. Okay, Jake, are you all set up now?
Yes, I think we're all good. You guys can hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, great. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the gender wars and and the patriarchy. Just give me that again, Sarah.
So, kind of the idea of, are these gender wars, the concept of feminism, the patriarchy, even we can dive into like the Christianity, like all of these different things, but particularly the gender wars. Where is it coming from? Because I look at it like I'm out in the normal.
Are we doing sit there? Let him come.
15 seconds left.
Okay.
Time expires in 10 seconds. 5 seconds to go. Time expired. Container was not secured.
World. I'm
Op 4
at
failed
work,
their
I'm
mission.
with friends, I'm doing all this other stuff, and nobody talks about feminism or patriarchy or we need to shut this down or do this. Like nobody's talking about it. But then I come on.
That's such a
Jesus
privileged mindset,
fucking
Sarah.
Christ! Did you just
Sorry.
interrupt me?
That's a privileged mindset.
But then I go to YouTube, and in this little corner, it's just feminism everywhere, so on and so forth. Obviously, we're hosting debates about it. So my question is, are these gender wars even real, or is this some kind of propaganda drop down, or what is the crisis at hand, and why is it a crisis?
Yes, Ryan is proof that they are real.
Well, I mean,
Go ahead, Jake.
obviously, there is a gender war, and we've had 100 years of feminist conditioning. And until
Friendly
that's
drone
untangled, there's
deployed.
going to
Op
continue to
4
be a
is
gender war.
reinforcing its
But the only
location.
reason that there is a gender war is because men have allowed women to have these so-called rights that you guys talk about. And if men collectively decided tomorrow to get rid of these rights, then there wouldn't be a gender war because there's nothing that they could do about it.
When you say we, you don't mean men, right? Because I would never align with you on that.
10
Like
seconds
most
to
men would not align with you on that. So I don't think that when you say we, you're not who you're talking about there.
5
Don't you
seconds
think
before
that's an overly simplistic binary?
Who am I talking to? Am I talking to one person or am I talking to a few people?
Biohazard container
No,
location unknown. Find the biohazard container.
So you know, with AIDS, you can't cook them, so you can't get
Yeah.
That's what
Talk
we-
to as many people as you
Panel,
want.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Ryan came
So-
through the clearest.
Ryan, yeah. So obviously, something about you told me that you wouldn't align with me. So I'm not surprised by that. But I'm just talking about hypothetically, if men decided tomorrow to take away the rights of women, there's nothing that they could do about it. You do agree with that, right?
Not really, and I think men and women fought
don't.
for men fought alongside women to get.
That's
the-
not
the
what I
right to vote
asked,
in the
Ryan.
first
That's
place.
not what I asked.
Yeah.
What I asked was, if men collectively decided tomorrow to take away the rights from women, could they do so?
Like if all men were gonna like do like an act like we're gonna put all men in one side of a room and all women on the other side, and they're gonna like battle it out. Is that what you're asking?
It's pretty.
Yeah, what the
simple.
fuck is the point of
If men
this?
decided tomorrow to
It's
take
not.
women's rights away, could they do it?
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
So
yeah,
what-
we could
Potentially?
impose.
Potentially?
We could make it illegal for women to vote, and then people would resist it, right? Like I would resist
So-
it. I think most men would resist it. Yeah.
The things that have happened throughout the course of history, which is men not giving women these rights until basically we had a bunch of technology that begets
15 seconds
feminism,
left.
where women
Biohazard
can have
container
air-conditioned offices and can get
One friendly
little
operator,
lanyards for
10
their working. Now all of a sudden, women do have rights. So
I think it was
that's what we're
until
talking
there
about.
were.
Seconds.
I think it was until there were mechanisms by which more people could influence the government. That, like the more people that have been able to influence the government, the more likely people's human rights have been to be represented. And
Yeah,
with
okay.
time, that's exactly what happened in the United States. So women got the right to vote, as a lot more people got a political voice and were expressing it. So.
Yes, I would agree. I would agree that as women entered more into politics and more into the workplace, etc., they had more say. But the question is, if tomorrow that wasn't the case anymore, could men just take away women's rights? And the question ultimately boils down to, if men do not consent, then can there be liberation?
If men
Friendly
do
drone
not
deployed.
consent,
Op 4 is reinforcing
I
its location.
rights could be taken away from women. Yes, this could happen. It did happen. Roe v. Wade was overturned. Women's right to bodily autonomy was taken away in a lot of states. So yes, this can happen, and it could happen here, where women's right to vote could also be taken away. But you would be met with resistance. We would
Okay.
resist you.
Yeah,
10 seconds.
you would resist us. Okay.
Yes, and we would win.
So let
5
me.
seconds before
You would
insertion.
win. Well, that's not really
Oh, yeah.
happened throughout the course of human history, and it's not really happened.
Biohazard container location unknown. Find the biohazard container.
Drone activated.
Op 4 last stop standing. Biohazard container located. Hostile activity. Neutralize the threat.
The fuck am I stuck on, man?
Op 4 eliminated.
Yeah, that's actually impressive. You didn't get a kill, but you didn't die.
All around the
I'm
world.
pretty sure
We
we're
see-
gonna vote right now.
We see,
We did
we
win,
see,
actually.
we see many examples of that everywhere. But would you agree with me that in order to replace the liberal world that we live in, we need to actually have people? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, people have babies. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Sure. And obviously, you agree that the birth rate is in precipitous decline at the moment in the Western world, throughout the entire Western world.
It's lower than, but it's. I mean, I don't necessarily. I don't think I buy into the like that we're like going extinct or something. Like, I'm not sure about that.
Well, mathematically, you just look at it and that's exactly what happens. As soon as you go below replacement, it starts to fall precipitously. There's an exponential curve that goes up with population. We've seen that. We've seen that in other countries around the world, and then also goes down as well in a similar fashion. We're seeing that at the moment throughout the entire Western world. And also places like Japan and South Korea. I mean, South Korea, I think, is 0.7. This is an extinction level event for countries like that. And the United States is on a similar path.
So if we want more people to have babies, we should probably incentivize them to have babies.
Yeah, which we're not doing. And so feminism is one of the leading causes that doesn't incentivize people to have babies.
I feel like feminism is the movement that's gotten us things like maternal and paternity leave in most countries that we don't have here.
How's that going?
And those are things that make people more likely to want to have babies because then they can actually take time off work to take care of those babies. But
sure,
you don't
how's
want
that going for you, Ryan?
So you're actually disincentivizing births.
Sure, Ryan. How's that going for them? How's maternity leave going in incentivizing birth rate?
It's great. I think people are more likely to have a baby if they think they can take maternal leave. Yeah.
Sure, Ryan. Is the birth rate going up or is it going down, Ryan?
It depends on a lot of factors. It's not.
Is the birth rate going up or is it going down, Ryan? Pretty simple question.
I mean, it might be a simple question. I don't know. I assume it's going down.
Yeah, well, if you looked into it,
but we don't have
it is
maternity
most
leave.
Definitely going down. So
we
would
don't
you
have
say that
we don't have enforced maternity leave in the United States, right? Or paternity leave. We don't have
cool, and
like other countries do.
Sure. So feminism not working.
Maybe
so would you agree that feminism promotes the idea that women should offset having children in their 20s and should have children more in their 30s and should focus on a career more and should focus on being more independent?
I think feminism resists the imposition of those things on women. So women are allowed to go to work, or they can.
Friendly drone deployed. Op 4 is reinforcing its location.
What?
Imagine I buy all this shit.
Nice, dude. Nope.
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds to insertion. You found a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
Loading mag!
Stay home and have babies, and they're absolutely allowed to have babies, and they're like certain. I don't have any problems with housewives. It's not illegal to be a housewife. Like some women want to do.
Never said it was illegal, but would you say that
but you want to make it illegal? You would.
Hold on,
you would
Lauren,
prefer they
answer
wasn't
the questions.
right? No.
Let's answer the questions first. So would you say that feminism disincentivizes people to stay at home and have children, and it incentivizes women to go out into the workforce and into higher education?
Into higher education? Yeah, I've been out. That's
one friendly operator remaining.
Like higher education for people.
Okay, so now we get back to the birth rate question. If women are offsetting having children into their 30s, the average age that women graduate these days is 24, and then they have to go into their career and they have to work away to eventually become a dermatologist by the time that they're 36 or whatever that is, then would you say that that is a contributing factor to the downfall of the birth rate? At least would you acknowledge it's a contributing factor?
But again, like there are better solutions, like resisting the whole quote unquote resisting feminism is like an
What's the better solution?
Providing incentives for people to have children, like child tax credits, and by having maternity leave and paternity leave, and all these things that actually do help people and help children.
Okay. And how's that going for the birth rate, Ryan?
That would probably help the birth rate. In the United States, we don't have.
Yeah,
those
it's
things.
not going so good. It's not going so good.
Okay, we don't have those things.
So
here,
Ryan,
I don't know
if you would agree, because you agree with me here, that where's he gone?
I switched it. Somebody paid. He paid for the next one. He wants you to debate Mel now. Don't worry, Mel will pick right back up.
Yeah, we can carry it off.
I can give you both of them if you want. You want
Coder
both of them?
Give me them both. Give me them both.
Coder and I are part of the leftist hive mind, so I can usually carry off.
10 seconds. 5 seconds before insertion. You found a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
Shock drone going live.
Watch for the blast! Get clear!
Nice. Nice.
Wait, you can die through the.
All friendlies have been eliminated.
Cool. But I want to continue the conversation that I was having with Ryan because we were halfway through. So, Ryan, you've agreed with me that feminism essentially disincentivizes people to have children, right? Feminism
No.
is not what you were saying in terms of like paid maternity leave and all these sorts of things. It hasn't actually produced that. So that's an abstraction. That's just an idea.
Because of resistance
But
from
feminism
people like
has
you.
feminism has produced a bunch of people who.
Be ready to engage Op 4.
Trying to get through that. Throwing the bait.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds.
Get in. I'll be in it soon if I don't want to. Go there. Got it.
One friendly remaining. All
If I don't
friendlies
want to
were
keep
eliminated.
going, I won't.
Failure.
Yeah, so then why you do that? Whatever I got, whatever you sent me, you know more than what I know.
Yo, give us some commendations, guys.
Okay.
I need some commendations.
Okay.
Uh,
I never said I didn't. The one you sent. The black one. Assume that's the obvious.
yeah.
who don't want to have children and who would rather go to Cancun on a holiday twice a year and would rather just be independent boss babes. So this actually does
know a
in
lot
fact,
of
lower the birth
feminists?
rate. Hold on a second, I'm not finished. So this actually does lower the birth rate. And if the birth rate is lowered, and if we actually can't replace our population, which is happening in reality, if this is the
10
case,
seconds.
then what's the solution to that if we need to have a sustainable labour market, which we do? What's the
5
solution to that,
seconds
Ryan?
before insertion.
Incentivizing people to have children through things like child tax credits and maternity leave and paternity leave and other ways, like things that prevent child.
Activating drone.
Lights set.
The fuck did you do that?
You must recover the diffuser.
Target's online.
One friendly operator remaining. Op 4 eliminated all friendlies.
Wow, dude.
Little horizontal.
Cállese, gringo, hijo de puta.
Shut your.
Friendly drone deployed. Op 4 is reinforcing its location.
Poverty, which is a big fear that many women have before they, if they're considering getting pregnant.
10 seconds to
So
go.
these
Cool.
would be moves that would help people have children and make it more appealing to women who would
5
then
seconds
be able to do
before
that while
insertion.
also pursuing careers that they also want to do because they're also.
You found a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
I still don't know.
Leveling that defensive.
You have dropped the diffuser.
I'm changing maps.
Yo,
What the fuck?
Dude, that's still one shots, bro. That's insane.
The diffuser has been secured. Cover the diffuser.
Oh, fuck.
One Op 4 remaining.
Airjet planted. Reload.
Op 4 eliminated.
Yeah, if you hear that sound, you have to just run away. Because for some reason that kill is weird. That's Thorn's ability. It's Omega busted. Like, literally insane. Beyond busted. Takes no skill. Is that the cue to where I know you're chalked it?
I'm not gonna troll, but I'm just gonna stay put.
Well, no, I was gonna say troll, but it's like when you're playing Tachanka, you chalked it kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't care how well I do at this point.
Be ready to eliminate hostiles.
Wait, that's a shortcut.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds left. Op 4 has located a bomb.
What the fuck is this guy doing? Get out of the way.
Action.
Oh, I guess that's good for you. You don't want to hit that wall.
Oh shit, I didn't even see that.
Let's see what I can find. Seeking intel on hostiles.
Absolutely fucking horrible. No doc.
Somebody setting off sensors over there. Yeah.
Reloading ammo.
We are now protected. Perimeter defense is active.
Electrosensor active. Looking for intel. Specchio active. Looking for intel.
Dude, I'm literally.
Yeah, they're over here.
4 feet around the corner, so.
One friendly remaining. All friendlies were eliminated. Mission failure.
Horrendous, dude. Oh. Oh, God. We have an Echo, a Tachanka, and a Clash, dude. Amazing.
Be ready to eliminate hostiles.
I'm ready for you, bastards.
Down to 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Op 4 has located a bomb.
Barbed wire
Sensor
going up.
active. Looking for intel. Launching a strike scan. Reloading.
Fuck.
CCE shield is ready.
Reload.
I love how I don't hear him jump in. I hear him running outside.
One friendly operator remaining.
Oh god, man.
Mission failed. All friendlies have been neutralized.
What if I just bought him? They took her fucking head.
Wait. God almighty.
People, right?
Jake, do you know a lot of
Where's
feminists
that
by
happening?
chance?
I don't know who this fox is who keeps talking, but I'm having a conversation with
It's
Ryan.
Melanie.
So Ryan,
I'm here too.
where is that happening and where's it working?
That's happening in at least several countries. I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know. But
Okay,
I mean,
so I can tell you where they are doing this. They're doing this in places like Holland, and they're doing this in places like Sweden, all these Nordic countries that you guys love to sort of like masturbate over on the left. So wherever this is happening, show me where it's increasing the birth
I
rates.
just got 10,000.
Demonstrate that for me.
I mean, we could dig into that specifically, but I mean, just at an
If you dig
intuitive
into
level,
it, you're gonna find it's not.
real quick, just all things else equal, do you think someone's more likely to have a child if they have access to maternity leave or if they don't have access to maternity leave?
I don't think it makes a difference, and I think that the evidence actually bears that out. It'll incentivize them to.
How much did that keyboard cost? That thing's nice as hell.
And then they'll end up freezing their eggs and trying to have babies when they're 35. But all we have to look at is the data and the statistics on that. We have countries like the Nordic countries who have these sort of social programs, and it's actually not working. The birth rates are
Oh, we
going down
expect they got less and less testosterone each
What do you
generation.
think they're doing to actually replace their labor market? What do you think is actually happening there? If you had to look at it and just be objective about it, don't be ideological. What they're doing is they're bringing in the third world. They're bringing in a bunch of people from the Arab world and from the African world to replace their labor market. And do you know what these people do, Ryan? They make sweet, sweet love 7, 8 times. 7, 8 times to have children. They have lots and lots of big babies. They have lots and lots of families.
Hell yeah,
And
we need
these
people, right? That's what
are-
you're just crying about.
Yes, exactly right. But you know what the problem is with this, Ryan? Is that these
They're not like
people
you?
are not so feminist, unfortunately. No, they're not like you, my friend. They're a lot more like me than they are like you.
Yeah, but when they-
these
Well,
people,
feminists-
they have lots and lots of families.
Hell yeah,
and
we need
these
people, right? That's what
are-
you're just crying about.
Yes, exactly right. But you know what the problem is with this, Ryan? Is that these
They're not like
people
you?
are not so feminist,
Friendly drone
unfortunately.
deployed.
No, they're not
Op
like
4
you,
is
my friend. They're a lot more like me
reinforcing
than they are like you.
Yeah, but when they,
These people-
feminist is like the
exist in
first
liberal
world, I
society, they become more like that.
Like,
Like
is that
Muslims in the
happening
United
in
States are
England?
extremely liberalized.
Do you know what's happening over in Europe at the moment, Ryan? Do you know what's happening in England? They've got Sharia courts over in England.
There are some issues with immigration over there right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So in America, you guys have more immigration from the Latin world. So you have a lot of people from Mexico.
Proceed to bomb the location and defuse it.
Drone activated.
I got absent. I shot like 3 bullets in. Shit on.
Etc. By the way, they're Catholic, so they're more patriarchal than you guys. But over in England, they've got a massive population of Muslims over there. And eventually, England is slated to actually become a Muslim country. Now, how do you think feminism is going to fare when England is a Muslim country?
I think
Ryan, you got to stop letting him railroad this, dude.
I'm just asking
well,
simple questions.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Just simple questions, guys.
So I could even work with the argument that the birth rate is declining as a result of feminism. That would actually be a good thing because we're having more planned pregnancies and planned families, which leads to better outcomes for both the parents and the child. However, one of the things we know about birth rate is that it's also heavily tied to economics. In fact,
Hold on a second. You just made one claim. You said
no,
that it's
no,
better
no,
for...
We have eliminated. Friendly drone deployed. Op 4 is reinforcing its location.
Well, that guy that just aced us is Diamond.
Oh, he killed all of you?
Yeah, the guy who killed you last is Diamond.
Oh.
10 seconds to go.
I definitely should have killed him.
5 seconds. You've located a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
Doc was basically just AFK. Why can't I fucking vault this, dude? Oh my god.
Op 4 eliminated all friendlies.
I love how I'm aiming down.
Wow.
Aiming down the fucking hallway and then I stop.
Bro, that's fucking disgusting, dude.
For the families, you just made one claim. You've made one claim. Let's take it one claim at a time.
Have a double standard.
Children.
No. That's shock. You can't shotgun the points. If you want to say that it's better for the family,
you
demonstrate that for
literally
me.
shotgun points all the time. I've had to sit here and wait. So
I ask questions.
Let's go. I do like it. I do like the line of logic. So Mel, if you can do one claim at a time and at least give Jay the opportunity to review it, that would be helpful I think, for the conversation to move along a little more productively. Thank you.
Okay,
so the first claim that you made there, Mel, was that it's better. These plans demonstrate that for me. How's it better? How's it better for families and better for societies? And how does this actually tie into feminism? Because as we know that what's happening around the United States is that there's higher divorce rates, there's more children outside of wedlock, and all these sorts of things. So demonstrate for me how that's better.
He's making like 3 different points.
So
no, I'm making a counterpoint.
Do you want to hear about how it's better for the parent or the child? Because there's 2 ways to answer that.
No, I want to hear about how it's better for society as a whole. I don't care what makes people happy.
So
I don't care about their emotional
society,
state.
when children grow into adulthood, less crime rates, better education, better nutrition, better social conditioning, and living in a household that can afford them. And that is what we see with better planned families and when we allow things like abortion.
True.
When you allow
It's your conscience,
so
dog.
it's better for the children.
Can I get a
Well.
full gunfight, dude?
Guess that does it.
It's 2 rounds in a row that I'm not even like ready for.
When you allow things for things like abortion for them to not even be born in the first place.
Well, yeah, because they didn't exist in the first place.
Well, and also many
Friendly operator remaining.
And I think most people who've gotten an abortion are mothers. Like, people have already have one child.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're going to have to demonstrate for me how feminism does that better. Better than, for example, how things used to be when people would meet young and they would have children young and they would stay together and they would not divorce and they would not have children outside of wedlock. You're going to have
And it
to
was legal
demonstrate
for the
me how
husband
it's
to rape
better.
them.
No,
So
it wasn't. What are you talking about?
feminism-
What are you talking about,
feminism-
Ryan?
Marital
Like,
rape?
how are you going to
Ryan,
demonstrate?
please.
No, it wasn't.
Create your custom insurance package with the only unbundled home insurance in Canada. That means protecting only what's most important to you. Oh, and saving money in the process. Get your policy in 5 minutes at squareone.ca.
It wasn't. That was
Yeah, it
assault.
was.
That
It
was
was legal.
considered
Okay.
assault back then. No, it wasn't. You're just factually wrong about that. That was considered assault. It just wasn't essay. Anyways.
Yeah, no
let's not
women
use
would be
that
ignored
R
when they
word.
went to the police station. But anyways, feminism frames
Prove it.
abortion as a woman's rights issue because it gives them better health outcomes. For example, being able to get it when their mental health
Yeah,
is
dude,
better.
we got our
instead of
fucking
having to have
asses
a pregnancy
kicked.
where their health isn't as good as it could be.
So you're saying that feminism, I don't care how feminism frames abortion. Abortion is murder. It's the taking of an unborn innocent life. So you can say that. You can say, oh well, they won't have to raise a baby when they're not doing so mentally well. And tell me, like, what's the standard for that? If I wake up one day and I'm 8 months pregnant and I say, my mental health today not so good. Let's just get rid of this thing. Is that okay?
The standard is the pregnant person's own concern.
Save
for
me,
mental health.
Dua
They
Lipa.
think that they could endure raising a child with their current mental health state.
Okay.
I don't think anyone really decides.
So then
like,
the
just
question that I
randomly at 8
the
months.
question that I asked.
I don't
was
think
if
anyone
wake
actually
up-
does the thing you asked. Yeah.
Ryan,
Dude,
stop trying to
if we
say-
lose one more
stop trying
time,
to say that.
I'm not.
I'm gonna go watch some
If
9/11
I-
videos.
He's giving.
Way funnier than it should be. Dude, the fucking plane's disappearing still.
Be ready to engage Op 4.
That shit's genuine.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It'll sting a lot.
Down to 10 seconds.
So if you... Here, come here.
5 seconds left.
If you shoot out, not the full floor, but only the bottom half,
Op 4 has located a bomb. Get ready to engage.
you can kill someone without them hearing. Because you can't cook grenades anymore.
Well, I only have impact grenades.
I know, but like I said with Sledge.
I mean, yeah. Oh shit.
Blades in position.
Damn it.
Our toxic babes are in position!
Dude, this fucking guy can see me, bro. Bro, I can't even see myself, and I know where to look.
Damn.
All friendly
I love how I get 2 kills, literally 1v2. Fucking machine gun pistol.
Damn.
hostiles.
Laying out the welcome mat.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds left. Bomb located by Op 4.
Loading new magazine!
Bro, I couldn't even see him, dude. It's impossible, man. It's fucking impossible. My God! Yeah, I did.
Over the fucking thing, dude. I can't even jump over this. What am I playing?
Friendly last operator. Mission failed. All friendlies have been neutralized.
I swear that was a headshot.
More to deal with, which is annoying for me.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so Mel, if I wake up one day, I'm 8 months pregnant, and I say, having a rough day today, mental health is not so good, can I just get rid of the baby?
I mean, like, my stance on my personal stance on abortion is yes.
I don't care about your personal stance.
That is not the feminine. No, the feminist stance is usually 6 to 8 weeks.
All right.
What is
so
give me the
now-
objective feminist stance?
I think the stance is still relies on the idea that you're still having an abortion one way or the other. Like the timeline can come down to, you know, different preferences or whatever, but it still allows you to do it nonetheless. I mean, quick shout out to chairman of the board with the Big Ten. All men could band together to take women's rights, and that's proof that men give women rights. Contains two logical fallacies, a mix of a straw man and a false cause. Jake, I think you were kind of alluding to this concept earlier. You're welcome to respond if you want.
Chairman of the board needs to get on the panel because that is the most ridiculous comment. How does, which one is it?
Oh, it's me. It's me. Hey, how you doing, Jake? I'm
yeah.
a big fan of yours, by the way. I'm really flattered to be on a panel with you, man.
Yeah, you too, man.
Nice. Oh.
drop the diffuser.
So how's it a straw man?
Well, so let me explain my reasoning, because it's a mixture, right? So it's like saying, and I'll test the logic by changing the scenario a little bit, instead of using the extreme of all the men band together to take away the women's rights, and therefore that's proof that women are given rights by men.
How's a hypothetical a straw man? It's a hypothetical question. So how can a
I'll
hypothetical
explain
be
it
a
if you're
straw
going to
man?
let me finish.
Go for
Okay.
it.
Yeah. So
You have to do it through my.
I want to hear. I want to hear what Sherman has to say as well.
Hold on, Doug. Please
yeah.
talk.
So
Go ahead.
it's like me saying that I burnt. Burn down your house and save you from it, therefore I save you. Or
No, it's not.
all the women in a neighborhood get together and wreck your car by hitting it with baseball bats so that they own your car. Right? It's
How is it like that?
logic.
What are you talking about?
Actually, it's
Well,
more like
the
a
logic
slave
used
owner
in the
that owns
argument. It's going to an extreme to prove his position, but it doesn't actually prove anything.
So it's a hypothetical. So
Right.
it can't be a straw man. Okay? It's a hypothetical, and the hypothetical is actually true if men did band together. And so if you said to me, if I burnt down your house and then saved you from it, it's completely disanalogous to the hypothetical that I made. The hypothetical that I made, which actually happens all around the world, we've seen this in places like Afghanistan, where the men come to power, the Taliban, they say, hey, listen, women, no more school for you. This actually happens.
Shout out to the Taliban.
Right.
should be
So
resistant.
I'm not
It
going
is.
to argue the position that people
That's
don't
Minar's guy,
oppress
the
each other.
Taliban.
Right. That would be foolish to argue the position that people don't oppress each other. But I'm just speaking on the specific use of that hypothetical. And I've seen Andrew Wilson use it a whole bunch of times too, and it just doesn't stand up when you use it in comparisons. Like, and I'm not a feminist, man. You know, I'm not arguing from that position. I just don't.
Stage op 4.
My evil eye has your back.
I wonder if they did that.
Evil eye deployed.
10 seconds.
160.
My evil eye
No,
ready.
what you want.
Down to 5 seconds.
I'll probably be, I was at the M249.
Reloading on ammo. Attack her. Actually, they don't.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. Don't they like reuse guns?
Yeah, but I feel like they'd have to make one.
Down. I'm dead.
Is he down or is he in the?
No, he's at the front door, dog. Oh, not the front door or whatever, the side door.
Friendly.
Good luck.
Chairman.
I also know this
Whose
is the
position is
Aussies.
Dang.
Kill the nomad. At least I didn't use all my tools.
Yeah, what, man? We don't need any walls.
What? What do you say?
We don't need any walls. I'ma get to work.
Dude. Holy shit, dude. I don't know how you do it, but you make characters.
Be ready to eliminate hostiles.
Here, take this up.
Take what out?
10
Oh,
seconds.
took that out.
Down to 5 seconds.
Alright, let's go hunting.
Op 4 has located a bomb. Get ready to engage.
I got your back. No, you gotta slow down.
Bulletproof camera in place.
Dog, I think I died.
너무 조용하군.
Oh, God almighty.
말보다는 행동이지.
Being misrepresented by the argument. Whose position
Well,
is being
the
misrepresented?
Taliban, the Aussies are going to hate this, but the Taliban is also going to tell you, as for worse or for worse, but they're going to tell you to trust and believe people that are making social and economic choices, that they have a reason for doing that, right? Like, so
Cool,
it's a
thanks,
really
Doc.
different way of thinking.
Anson, so if you're saying it's a straw man, that means it's a misrepresentation of somebody else's point. So
Yeah.
whose point is
Exactly.
being misrepresented?
The point that the point of the argument which was being had, which was that women get rights from men. That was the point of the hypothetical, was to drive that point home, and that's
Okay, well, okay, Anson.
Yeah.
If I'm straw manning a position,
Yep.
it has to be a position that is made by somebody
Op
else.
four is deployed.
So if I'm straw manning Radical Coder's position,
One
it's a
Op 4
position.
remaining.
Digital transformations and hybrid workforce are adding complexity and visibility gaps to your network.
It's an argument that he made that I'm straw manning. So who is making the argument that this hypothetical is straw manning? Because
Well,
it's saying it's a straw man.
anyone
It's
that
of
says
somebody's position. Who is that somebody?
Anyone that says women's rights don't come
Damn.
from men. That's
Okay, so you're claiming
on
that
behalf
Jake
of
is
a
straw manning his own position.
situation, if that
You're,
makes you
so you're
feel
claiming
better.
that Jake is straw manning his own
why that's
position
relevant.
when he's making the argument.
I would
I'm
say
just
the
gonna
thing he's
totally guys, I'm
straw-manning
listening
is
now.
real quick.
Can we
I would
let it? Can we go one at a time, gentlemen? Right now, I think it's Ryan and Adam,
Ugh.
and everybody else kind of butt out for a second. Go ahead,
I'll try to
Ryan.
be quick. I think the thing that's being
I
spoken,
dedicate this
from my
round
perspective is the feminist
to
perspective,
Brigitte
and more
Macron.
importantly the like what was done by feminists
Our
to get
beloved-
rights. It's not that men
our
just
beloved,
like one day they just felt
French
they
First
felt
Lady.
like they just decided one day to give women rights. Like women and men fought for a long time, and I mean Duck was going through a lot of examples at the beginning of this panel about like stories of women who did remarkable things throughout history by fighting for rights. And so you're kind of
I've seen her balls.
like really you're strawmanning the story of
She's a lady, dog.
Okay, so it's not a straw man of feminism, and it's not a straw man of the history according to feminism, because it is an alternative perspective of history that is opposed to the feminist view. It is not a straw man.
Proceed to bomb's location and defuse it. You have dropped the diffuser. The diffuser is now secured.
Drone's ready.
Stay behind me.
More deployed.
Damn, dude. I love how I whipped on 20 bullets on my mag and the rest of them completely perfect. Down. Dude, I love it's so hilarious when we start to troll and so
Yoink.
Users online and active.
Yeah. Oh man, this team, dude.
The diffuser has been destroyed. Mission failed.
Oh man, I think we lost every game, didn't we? Look at this fucking fag, dude. Guys, I need commendations, man. You want to end slavery, you gotta commend me. Go on now. Nice, dude. Hey! I got one for guidance, dude.
Alright, let me I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah.
What's your reputation now?
Still dishonorable. It's fucked, dude.
Okay, I'll
Fuck.
be back to that. Yeah, that's shocked. You there, dog?
Yeah.
Because
what is alternative
no,
history?
hold on. It is
What
not a
is
straw man of
alternative
history
history
because
isn't
it is
Adam.
opposed.
No,
it's
I'm
an
going to
entirely
hold you
different
accountable.
argument.
I'm going
It's
to
a
hold you
different
accountable
view
for
that's
this.
opposed
Absolutely
to
not.
the feminist
If you
view.
come,
And it does not pretend to be the feminist
ten
view.
people and you tell us alternative
Gentlemen.
history exists, it's nonsense.
Okay, Orca speaks with the big five, says, let's go, Jake. Wait, which channel am I on again? You must be watching on both ends. Made by Jim Bob coming in with a big 10 says, Ryan, if more males identify as women and dominate every field, is that still feminism?
That's
Absolutely.
definitely not happening by any like more males is there's like 100 trans athletes in
That's
in
a
the country that
conditional
are
question,
anywhere right
Ryan.
now.
That's a hypothetical. He's not saying it is happening. He's saying if
Yeah, but it's
if
an insane
happened.
hypothetical. I don't know.
No, it's saying if it happened.
God damn it.
I think by the time if that happens, then like the way that we got to that point would involve so much restructuring of like what like sporting categories. Like I think the question would be kind of absurd by that point.
It would be a
so,
crazy
we'll see what
question in
happens.
2025.
but,
Crazy
If
question in
it, so
2025.
if it, oh hold on. So
If it
it's a yes or
does.
no question. If it did happen, would it be feminism or not?
I
and
can
what I'm
answer-
commenting on
I can answer that.
is yeah, go ahead.
So feminism fights
That's
for
for
equality
Ryan.
of
I
know.
understand your need
hold
to
on,
save
hold
your
on,
buddy
Adam,
here,
hold on,
but I want
Adam,
Ryan
hold
to answer
on.
the question because it
Hold
belongs
on.
to Ryan.
Hold on. Adam. Mel, you were saying something, please.
So it would still be feminism because feminism fights for equality of
10
the
seconds to go.
sexes, and you could still have equality of the sexes. The word dominate there, I don't think we would allow domination anymore. So if they were truly dominating, then sure, that's something that would eliminate it. But
There
assuming
was a
that
chick that had a fake leg like the Rooney had, actually.
Yeah. Good for you, dude. Want a medal? Yeah, would you ask her to take it off during sex or keep it on? Would you want to see the stump?
Well, it kind of depends if I don't know if I'd see it, right? Too much?
Mindset.
Probably be
How would you not see it? Well, when you're both naked.
Swapping mags!
What? I assume.
Nice, dude. You assume. You would fucking assume, huh? Fucking idiot gets in my way. There's one down there.
Loading new magazine!
You must recover the diffuser.
How many bullets
Get out of the way.
did that guy take?
Op 4 last stop standing. Op 4 eliminated. Friendly mission successful.
You literally basically chalk your life.
Yeah.
What?
You know why? Because I'm a man.
Wait, I didn't even get an assist.
there's lots of women.
Because I'm a man.
Okay, yeah, women are a majority. That's not necessarily not feminism.
Well, okay, and I see the argument.
Yeah, sorry to roll that killed. You just, you know,
so
your
if
fucking head got in my way, dude.
Okay, and went in and said, "I'm a woman."
Wait. Oh wait,
Friendly
I
drone
got that kill.
deployed.
Oh, I
Op 4
downed
is
it.
reinforcing its location.
Yeah, you did. Fucking piece of shit.
Oh, that's why.
There's fucking DEI bullshit in this game too, man. Giving the fucking kill to a fucking, what is it, a Russian woman?
Insertion in 5 seconds.
What's it? Oh, what the hell? She's white.
Proceed to bomb's location and defuse it.
She's a woman, dog.
Yo, turn that shit off.
What the fuck is that?
Turn your faggot shit off. It sounds dumb as shit.
What? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I know. Bring it.
Drone activated.
Is my mic working? Is my mic working? You guys hear me? Hello? He's going in, I'm rushing. One dead.
Possession.
I broke the door.
I'm a goddamn man.
Flashing. I'm running. Behind me.
Protected at all costs.
You got this, guys. Don't fear behind you.
Bro, this guy makes another sound.
Down to one.
Bro, I told you behind you, and you weren't healing.
Shut your faggot mouth.
I said behind you, you didn't listen.
Yeah, fuck what you said.
Yeah, I know who that is. Let's go!
Hear me roar. I want job. I take job. And now women are inherently booted out of the workforce because these men went in and identified as women. So when it comes to
You can't mute mid
HR is satisfied because, oh, we've got X amount of women and men because these dudes identify as women. Essentially, that's like kind of going against the grain there. I don't think it's. I think it goes against the concept of feminism. So it actually harms women more than helps. So this is where I would appeal to men to come in and actually get this shit out of there. Real women are being put.
You ready to engage, Op 4?
No, go ahead.
What dog?
Did I use long barrel on that thing?
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds. Bomb located by Op 4.
Whoa! We got a team killer, dog. Where are they? Oh! The bomb's here. Oh! Right there. Down the hall from where I died. Yeah, she's gonna come back there. That he's gonna come there. Oh, yay!
Loading new mag. Friendly, last operator standing.
Nice, dude.
Mission failed. All friendlies were eliminated.
Put down as second-class citizens yet again.
So trans
so-
women
so
are
again-
kicking women out of HR?
What I'm saying is, if men put on a skirt, okay, this whole panel, let's just say you all decide today you're gonna put on a skirt and we're all gonna go apply for the same job, right? And HR has a like the DEI.
Be ready to engage Op 4.
Whoa.
Kill this fucking faggot again, dude.
Whoa. Is he talking? Yo, let's fucking kill this bitch, man. Fucking kill this piece of shit.
Nitro cell.
Yes, dude, that's
Op
it.
4 has located a bomb.
Oh, we needed.
Fucking good.
1 and 4. Yeah, but Mega Giga tried to. I've actually never been down.
Let's go. It literally just leads to the other ladder. Nobody's there yet. Oh.
Op 4, last stop standing.
What I knew it was there.
Diversity quota hiring, right? And they say, well, we need X amount of women to satisfy this quota to make us be whatever. I can easily get booted out just because a dude comes in, puts on a skirt, and says he identifies as a woman. So it's like that's a sneak attack there.
Wouldn't if you're gonna have some sort of quota system like the point of those kinds of quotas is to make sure that the makeup of that group reflects the makeup of society. So like some percentage of society are trans people. So that quota could include some amount of trans people, some amount of cisgender people, and then
No, you're misunderstanding.
See,
At some point, there are no
I actually
No.
I actually agree with Ryan on something here. I do not believe.
Oh
that
my
we should
god,
offer
fucking reverse friendly fire activated by default. Download duration 20 matches.
And in this case, when I say the 1%, I mean trans people, because they're about 1% of the population. And
Nice,
in some cases, we're talking about 0.1%, which would,
Some
Ryan
states
also
would make it
doesn't.
illegal for them to
Ryan
exist.
doesn't believe that we should
This
give
game
any
is
benefits
fucking
to just 1% of the population. You
Is
So
can't
facing
fucking
higher
good.
rates of violence a privilege?
I don't think so.
What?
What privileges are trans people getting?
So privileges, well,
Before we get on a tangent, can I chime in really quick before we get far away from the
Are you
analogy?
saying a trans woman is
Oh,
not a
hold
woman?
on.
Is that what you're saying, Ryan?
Stop. Effigy, is that?
Yeah, that was me.
We got some background.
No. So who's got the? Who's trying to
definitely
talk?
Mr. What?
Whoever's got their mic open while they're talking.
I'm gonna mute
Mr.
you,
What?
Mr.
Really quickly, before we get too far away from it, this dumb analogy that we keep hearing: if all men band together, they could take away all the rights. Therefore, they have the ability. By the exact same logic, if all women band together, could they not end the species? Could they just decide that I'm not having babies anymore? And by your logic, then
Well, let me
sure they
let
could,
me
right?
ask the question
They could-
to you. Then, is that what's happening? Are women subconsciously
No.
doing that in some weird
I'm
way?
just saying, by the logic of their example, if a group
Yeah,
bands
can I
together
go
and
with
has the
this?
ability to do something, they should be the arbiters over that. So if women can band together and end the species by not allowing babies to come from them, shouldn't they be the ones who, by your own logic, are the ones who get to decide who comes into this world or not?
No,
No,
they
no,
can't do that.
no, actually,
hold
can
on,
I-
They
hold on.
can't do that.
Oh, is it you, Jake?
Yeah,
Is it
I'll
you?
respond to this. I'll respond to this.
Oh, hold
No,
on.
it's not.
Your mic sounds like crap. What happened?
Doing
Hold on
to
a
our
second.
ears what
Wait,
you're
what?
about to say you would do to women if they tried to stop having kids.
Yes, that's why in Muslim
Okay.
countries, all
So
these
it's not
women, they band
discriminate.
together, guys, so they can break
Insertion in
apart
10
the
seconds.
patriarchy. What is
Based.
this BS, man?
5 seconds to insertion. Proceed to bomb location and defuse it.
Wrong.
You will drop the diffuser.
dumb.
This game is just. Oh my god. This game is just fucking dog shit tonight, man.
All friendlies have been eliminated.
So I think on his screen, I hit a bullet, but on my screen. Dude, they need to make cool attackers. The last what, like, Sense is gay, Ram is fucking retarded, Flores. Another one. Super.
A woman, if
Unite
you
with women
threaten
and
her
men who
with
don't want to
any-
see that.
Let me
that-
let me
that-
post let me post
Better, better,
let me
better, better, better.
yes.
Op 4 is reinforcing its location.
The reason why I can't.
Thank
Better.
God. Go ahead, Jake.
Cool.
I did.
Alright.
Before.
Yeah, so it wasn't actually by our own logic, because
10 seconds to insertion.
with our own logic, these things have actually happened. So can you tell me where that's happened ever, that women have decided to
5
end the
seconds
species?
before insertion.
No, that was our question to you earlier.
Yeah, no,
Because
so
there's
where is
been
that
no time in
happening? I
history
can
where
tell-
The bomb location and defuse it.
Loading mag!
Gonna reload.
Starting shock drone!
Oh shit.
Upstairs, dude. I can't even see myself in the skill cam.
Damn, I didn't realize they were next to a lake the entire time. Or a river.
Got it again.
I could probably shot the two. Alright, fuck it.
Because unless you're on mouse and keyboard.
Argus ready.
Damn it.
tell you where
all
it's
men
happened.
ever have banded together.
It's a hypothetical.
Men have banded together and taken away the right to women. That has happened. It's still happening today. So where is it happening? What you're saying, that women band together and decide to end the species?
It's hypothetical.
It's a hypothetical, right? Yeah.
Well, where's it happen?
Oh,
The
that does
is
it.
no longer in your possession. You have been eliminated.
What a fucking joke, man. I wish they made a skin of Mira that looked like the cinematic
Hey, dude, look, it's your favorite character, Kaid, dude.
Nice, It's funny
Take
how-
a Middle Eastern guy and then make him the gayest fucking thing ever.
Be ready to engage Op 4.
This is unacceptable.
My evil eye ready to kill some stuff.
Don't kill me, dog. Don't kill me. Kaid,
10 seconds to insertion.
why is his, why does he look different from his art? Oh. Why'd you aim your gun at me, dude?
My evil eye is your back.
Just looking at the kill cam for it. It's funny. Ah.
One Op 4 remaining.
Setting up a barricade! Swapping mag!
Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.
That's what you get for locking me out, bitch.
But there's no place ever where men in the entire world have banded together and all agreed on the
But
same
then,
thing.
Jake,
It wouldn't
it-
happen here. You couldn't have it in
So,
the United States have all men
So
band
why would
together.
you?
and
This
decide
is
to do
actually a
right.
straw man. So Effigy is actually straw
Am I-
manning the position.
It makes no sense.
Hold on. I think Jake, the
salad.
question was posed as a hypothetical. So nobody's saying it has happened. But
Yo,
we're saying,
Capcom
what
looks like he
if
paid like
women did
$500
band
for a whore and got catfish, dude.
And then just went on a village.
Yeah.
You'd imagine?
Be ready to eliminate hostiles.
Nice. Now you realize, dog. Whatever.
10 seconds left.
Damn, dude. This is a big house. Oh, this has to be the biggest fucking, I I don't know, shower. It's got two fucking separate things.
You have a secondary shotgun or you have a pistol?
Just a pistol.
Oh, rain.
Yeah. Say the wife is over there and then the husband's over here.
Or you know, if you're fucking 6'3" and you have a back problem.
Nice. You already died? Oh shit. I think that's a record, dude.
Our team.
I'm just gonna follow Beach.
Eagles out.
I'm sorry about that. Did I give away your position, dude?
Setting nitro.
Last stop standing.
Damn, dog, he took your HP. Oh my god, so you were using a shotgun.
Well, you said secondary. My secondary is a shotgun.
I didn't think you were.
I said nah.
Primary shotgun.
Op 4 eliminated.
You know what? I didn't want to say it, but your mic fucked up. So I just said no because I couldn't bother to ask you what the fuck you just said. Alright, let's fucking kill some people. Damn, dude. Pulse, what the fuck is that skin? That fucking art.
Be ready to eliminate hostiles.
Oh, dude, he's like a cyborg. That's fucking cool, dude. Yeah, why y'all crowding me? I can't fucking move. Here. Alright, I guess we're all staying here. I don't mind that. Group up, guys.
5 seconds.
Why you don't let me fucking move, dude?
Op 4 has located a bomb. Get ready.
Alright, follow me, guys. We're following Vigil, alright? Hey, I got a kill this.
Yeah, you start trolling, you get kills, man.
Oh no, but it didn't count as a kill. I'm still 0 and 5.
Oh, it's because you eat that someone else.
Damn, dude, 0 and 5. Whoa. Yo, quit being a bitch and fucking run around the map, dude.
Friendly remaining.
Nice.
Man, I can't even see the poles on the stairs just completely blocked. I don't know. Can't even fucking see him.
Say, like, we're not gonna have babies anymore. Fuck society, whatever. And then I think I did ask the question: is that what's going on now? Like, women are waiting, or they're choosing not to have children, or you have the abortions, you have the birth control, you have all these sorts of different things. So in some weird subconscious way, that they decided to do that now.
No, they haven't. And they're not going to, and they never could, because even if they did decide that they would try and do that, what men would do is they would band together and they would enslave those women and they would impregnate those women.
Op 4, last stop standing.
Like I said.
Yo, dog, he's behind you. He's behind you.
Kind of creepy.
So,
No, to the right.
so
To the right, dude. He's up.
I have to point out how.
Like I said.
Cringy.
For
It's
real, what's the counter
kind
argument?
of creepy.
So, also,
Besides
Effigy,
it-
I have to
besides it
point
being
out,
creepy,
I
what's
have
the
to point out
counter-argument?
how you were actually engaging in a straw man. So the claim isn't all men.
Right.
It is men.
Gotta say how amazing I was. You gotta give me valor at least.
Government. Jake repeatedly used.
Oh, if you give me valor.
The
Alright.
Taliban was not all of the people in all of the men in Afghanistan. It was an organized minority of men.
Yo, car guy, dude. You know you couldn't have done it without me, dude. Give me valor, dude.
It's hypothetical, but the hypothetical
US
that's constantly
government
used
and
in
the
this
Soviet-
hemisphere
Hey!
is all men version.
I got valor, dude.
Maybe I was wrong in this instance. Maybe you're right. So, the hypothetical is usually what if all men decided to do this to all women, and the logic I was pointing to was by you saying that all men.
Yeah, I think
can
this
do
game is chalk for
they
me.
should be the arbiters of whether or not women should have that. By that logic, if all women can band together and in the species by the fact that they are the baby factories, well, shouldn't by your logic they then
You know what I'm saying?
no.
No.
Whether or not they give birth or not, who comes into the world and lives or dies in that sense?
Yo, can you just
okay,
stream?
So Effigy, I can admit.
I don't want to play this piece of shit.
Who do a very
I just want to watch you play ranked. Yeah.
sophisticated form of this argument, but the majority of the time this argument is made, there's never an ought claim attached. It is merely a descriptive fact of how rights operate in the real world. And the claim is that, and the claim is not that that this makes it so that this ought to work like this. The claim is that this is how it works descriptively, and this is how it's worked repeatedly.
How was what I said not descriptively? If you get a woman pregnant and she doesn't want to have your baby, she gets an abortion. Right?
Gentlemen, didn't this kind of happen in, I think it was China, where like the 403B thing happened, and now they're like practically paying them to South Korea, thank you. So I guess in essence it kind of did happen to some degree. I don't know how they made out with it, but Robert Demita
No,
with
it was
the
a
Big
small
Ten,
social movement. It was a small social movement, and they could never. Yeah, sorry, go on, Sarah.
Sorry. Robert Demita with the Big Ten. Appreciate the stream, Sarah. You rule. Shout out to you, Robert Demita, and I owe you a wrench on this side, Robert. Orca Speaks with the Big Five, based Australian, as if that's actually a play. Or Jake. They hit you every time. Okay, go ahead, Jake. I apologize.
It's true, though. They're actually right about that. Yeah, no, it was a small social movement. I think it was a 3B movement or whatever it was in South Korea, where women were sort of going 4B, going. It was like kind of like the opposite to MGTOW. It was like women going
Yeah,
there.
they took 40 RP away from it, so I'm silver one again.
Damn, dude, that sucks. What are you gonna do about it, though, dog?
Nothing. I can't do anything. Can't give me. So apparently
That's
I
all I
didn't
heard.
get my gold charm for last season either. So like they're just not giving me my charms.
Dude, you want some charms? Go get some fucking lucky charms, dude. Fuck, man. I hope when you go to Long and McQuaid tomorrow, somehow he's able to hear what your mic sounds like and he fucking kicks you out of the store. He's like, you fucking degenerate, you've put people through this fucking torture for how long? And he's just like, okay, I'll get you a new mic, but you gotta go shopping at that fishing store again.
Rockatron.
Bro, you should have fucking gone to that Asian dude and just like punched him, man. You have Dr. Pepper, dog?
Optimus Prime needs you.
They say your mic is shit. Okay.
I forgot.
Dick, hop on the mic. My friend, what did you say?
See, they can't hear. They can't hear you, dude.
We need to locate a bomb.
Hey, Brocatron. Oh,
Be advised your drone has located.
fucking died. Brocatron, I think your mic's not working.
Dude, I don't understand. Fucking
Oh, there we go. Now I hear you.
Bro, Astros fucking suck, dude.
10 seconds.
Nah, bro. I want a mirror out of here, bro. Fuck mirror.
Insertion in 5 seconds. Proceed to bomb's location and
Don't worry about
Fender.
Fender, he's mine.
So dumb.
Their own way.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was a small social movement, but no, the reason why their birth rate is so low over there is not because of that. It's because of like many other different factors, including like urbanization and yeah, it's not because of that 4B movement, but it's actually just not possible because if they got together and they said collectively, we are going to just end the species, men would just say, no, you're not, sweetheart.
Well, and the other thing, and this is actually a point I really wanted to bring up with Korea, but I was in the back hoping so hard. Ryan, you were talking about providing social benefits. One of the specific social benefits you talked about, and you brought up a bunch, was maternity leave. South Korea has very, very good maternity leave policies. They even have paternity leave. It has not helped. They were implemented since at least 2016, and it's like a year of maternity leave. And since 2016, the birth rate has continued to drop.
So I'm not saying there aren't other factors. So what I would be curious at is to look at, like, comparatively, are women and men who have access to maternity and paternity leave, like, if they're comparative, like the same, like otherwise the same, like, are they more or less likely to have children? And my instinct.
He just gave you the
probably
stats.
more likely.
Isn't it
No,
pretty?
he
just gave you the
He
reason.
told me.
Well,
No,
I
he actually
can-
told me that in the country the birth rate is still low, but he didn't give me the specific
Cover
thing
the
in the country,
diffuser.
right?
I don't have those specific stats on like the specific stats you're referring to because that's like a really, really particular, and to be frank, I can.
You will identify whether or not that policy is working for
I
your
have
goal,
a
right?
question, gentlemen, and maybe
four
Jake
eliminated, all
and Ryan, maybe you can dive into this one. If the economy were to, per se, do better to the point where you don't necessarily have to have two incomes to support a household, because I feel like that's, in terms of the middle class, it is necessary to a degree. if the economy suddenly did magically better, do you think that women would then return back home because there's no need for them to work, or maybe not have the ambition
so
to
simple,
do it,
dude.
or
It's
just
all fucking
I don't
women's
know.
fault.
May I point something out?
No.
Say that again.
It's so simple what they're talking about, dude. It's always the woman's fault.
Yeah, what she's
We need
actually
to locate
asking
a
right
bomb.
there, it's actually not, it's actually the opposite. It wouldn't stop if the economy was better.
It's like I don't like I used to like watch those kind of conversations, but like after a while it's just like they always skirt around the fucking elephant in the room, which is it, dude. It's just fucking chicks, man. Like
Well, the only reason I'm
dudes have not changed, chicks have changed.
Exactly. Dudes are not changing.
10 seconds to go.
But the only reason I'm watching it is because it's one.
5 seconds before insertion.
One guy I'm subscribed to, and
Your mission is to locate and defuse a bomb.
Claymore up! Swapping mags! Come on out! You're positioned on this window.
You located a bomb.
I've got a better idea. Window shield set up.
Fuck me, bro. Zombies holding fucking astronomy.
The diffuser is no longer in your possession. Down to one friendly.
The most common form of feminism, or at least the most popular, is choice
Op 4
feminism,
eliminated all friendlies.
which is actually kind of interesting because I would argue, yes, if you did that, you would actually see more women able to embrace the trad lifestyle. But it's an important point to make that
No,
you're
you're wrong,
preventing
Kirby.
it so long as as we're not paying people enough, like a livable wage. So that
No.
way one person can support an entire household to begin with, and that forces women to work, and they can't embrace the trad lifestyle.
Look, you can look at the evidence of where in the world the birth rates haven't collapsed and see that it's not at all tied to economics, right? That's ridiculous. If you look at the actual data in the places where the world where women are still having lots of children, they're not rich people. They're not people with means, right? So the collapsing birth rate is
That's 'cause
a
they can't
disease
afford
of
birth control, though.
it's a disease of the rich and not a disease of the poor.
But that, no, in third world countries, it's more of an issue of affording birth control and stuff like that. When
Yeah,
you look
you're
across
pointing
first
out
world
exactly
countries-
why the birth rate collapsed is because all of these people have access to prevent pregnancy, whereas all throughout human history that didn't happen. And then suddenly, when women had access to be able to decide whether or not to have children, birth rates slowly started to decline, and it created an entirely different culture that hadn't existed previously in human history.
But Anson, when you look across countries that have like the top 15% GDP type countries, it's the ones that have higher GDP that actually
Insertion
have
in
more
5
children.
seconds.
It's the sort of
Your mission is to locate Locate and defuse a bomb.
Drone up and running.
Drone ready.
Swapping mags! Panel shot. Loading new mag. Breaching.
You located a bomb.
Frag out.
Think, can you stem?
Incoming adrenaline boost.
Hey.
Panel shut.
Frag grenade is hot.
Deployed dawn panel.
Stem when you can, Finko.
Adrenaline surge incoming.
Nice.
Drone up and running.
Op 4 last stop standing. Seconds remaining. 10 seconds remaining. User is online and active.
Adrenaline surge incoming.
Op 4 eliminated. Friendly mission successful.
I don't think so. I think I have a two key.
Sort of thing, like in a
No,
third
it's
world
not.
country, the dynamics are okay.
You got it backwards.
That's not the case. This guy's just wrong. That's not the case. It's actually the countries with the lowest GDP. You go to places like Africa,
Right,
in
no, but
countries
those are
like
third world
Chad and
countries.
places like this.
I'm
You have
saying
you have
you have
you
to
have
look at the
people
top.
with
Hold on,
8
let him
children.
finish, Mel.
Yeah,
But he's
just
he's doing a straw
um,
person.
Okay, but I want to hear him
hold on.
finish at least.
brother, relax.
Secure the bombs.
He called it a straw person.
Yeah. Yeah, he sounds like a fag.
I'm reloading.
Op 4 has located a bomb. Be ready for assault.
Reinforcing wall.
Ooh. 10 seconds. Insertion. 5 seconds left.
Proximity alarm online.
Op 4 has located a bomb.
Dealer is on.
All set. Bench deployed.
My beautiful evil eye is ready.
no one covering anything then? What are you guys only for? Grab that window.
Do you have them muted?
Friendly, last operator standing. Op 4, last op standing.
This guy's here. Nice.
Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.
Dude, this gun should not.
Protect the bombs. Op 4 has located a bomb. Be ready for assault. 10 seconds to insertion.
Wall's done.
5 seconds left. Bomb located by Op 4.
Changing mags.
Alright, got a drone.
너무 조용하군.
Fucking deuce. Fucking hell.
Laser gate in position.
말보다는 행동이지.
Yes, drone acquired.
Multiple guys on one thing.
너무 조용하군.
God almighty.
Swapping mags.
Someone exposed.
Dude, was I not just looking there?
Shiba barrier up. Shiba sitting pretty.
One friendly operator remaining. Mission failed. All friendlies have been neutralized. Secure the area. Keep the bombs protected.
Activating jammer.
Be advised, Op 4 has found a bomb. Down to 10 seconds. 5 seconds and counting. Bomb located by Op 4.
Loading mag! Setting welcome mat. Deploying welcome mat. Reloading! Cover me!
Op 4, last operator standing. One friendly operator remaining. Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.
Two kids combined.
So yeah, no, that's not the case. The highest birth rates in the world are in the Arab countries and in the African countries. Some of them are up to like 6 to 8 birth rates. And as countries become more urbanized and as countries become more liberal, then this is when they start to drop their birth rates. So to the question that Sarah's asking, if something magically happened with the economy, well, we have been getting richer. We have more nice shit. We have iPhones. We have MacBook Pros, but we're having less and less babies. And this is because
So
people
Mel,
just
weren't you talking
become
about first world countries
completely complacent.
comparing like first world countries, or no?
Well, and Jake, I don't know if it's necessary. That's like material things.
Secure the
I don't know
bombs.
if that necessarily.
It's annoying having a fucking woman there too.
Camera feed up and running.
Be advised, Op 4 has found a bomb. Seconds left.
Echo. Shot.
5 seconds.
shot, new drone, good day. Gotta reload. Sweet as grabs us a drone direct.
What the fuck? Oh.
Dude, this game is fucking garbage, man.
One friendly remaining.
This guy on controller looks like a
Mission failed. All friendlies were eliminated.
Necessarily represents the strength of the economy, right? Like we can still buy stuff on credit in America. Right?
Yeah, I think he's
Because,
controlling.
like,
America has a massively strong economy. America's the strongest economy in the world.
I wouldn't agree with that either.
That's me. And this fashion foul all started with a basketball bet with Proline. I'm making my picks.
I mean, I
Well,
would
I
beg
mean,
to.
America.
You're better.
Wait, did you ask me something?
Yeah, that. Did you see that kill cam?
I stood.
We need to locate a bomb. Drone has located a bomb.
Oh,
10 seconds. 5 seconds to insertion. You found a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
Seconds long.
What the fuck is this shit, man?
Swapping mags.
Loading new mag.
Reloading.
This
Cover
guy's
me.
one and like fucking permaban.
Can you throw a drone through there or something?
What, you want to run in?
Tossing EMP grenade.
Can you jump on the fucking arena?
My turn. Loading concussion.
Is this me?
Swapping mag.
Oh, shit. Fucking count how many I have.
4 last operator standing.
Plant.
The diffuser is no longer. Op 4 neutralized. Mission successful.
America has the biggest military in the world. They absolutely destroy. I mean, you may not. If you look at the health of economy, there's a lot of different variables. So you could say that America doesn't have the healthiest economy. Fair enough, but America has the biggest military in the world by far. They are the biggest consumer market in the entire world. I mean, America is the U.S. dollar is the global reserve currency. There's really no argument that America is. Well, I mean, you have to prove that. You could make the argument that the USA is being taken over. Taken over.
Could easily outpace America if America was into recession.
Secure the area. Keep the bombs protected.
It's a Halo skin.
We're ready for company. Using shield. Setting up.
This is fucking disgusting, man.
Plan your defenses accordingly. 10 seconds. Bomb located by Op 4.
Oh, yeah. Ah.
Horseshit, man! How many fucking times do I have to hit him, dude? He didn't even hit my head.
The bomb diffuser has been successfully deployed.
God.
Game takes like 60.
All friendlies were eliminated. Mission failure.
This guy goes 4 and 9. Fucking doxed. Wouldn't fucking win anything.
They have a higher population.
So you're saying that population begets strength? Is that what you're saying?
When you have more people in a market, there's automatically more demand, yes.
So there, you've just refuted your own feminist argument, by the way.
Jake,
No, I
so
didn't.
you're not American, so I'm gonna help you out a little bit. You too, Furby, you're Canadian. So in the last 50 years, a dollar has devalued to the point where it's worth 5 cents what it was 50 years ago, right? Now, all of the generational wealth that my family had over generation was stolen through an inflation tax that people don't even pay attention to. Our economy is so ridiculously like it's a giant bubble, right? It's not a good economy. And so I just made an argument for why what you said is wrong, right? It's a house of cards.
But the entire world is on a fiat currency, though, right?
I know.
The entire
I know.
world is on fiat currency. So inflation is actually not just a specifically American problem. Inflation is worldwide.
Yeah, this is an issue of disenfranchising yourself from the gold. It's not an issue of the dollar, the petrodollar, or the American dollar being weak. The American dollar is
inflation
so
is also a
strong.
symptom.
The American dollar is so strong; it still siphons wealth right now from other countries in its weak inflationary position right now.
It's the global reserve currency, yeah, exactly right. And if it were to lose its position as the global reserve currency, then you couldn't say this about it. Like if the Chinese yuan was to take over as the global reserve currency, then yeah, sure, America wouldn't be the strongest economy. But right now they still are. And having the US dollar as the global reserve currency gives you an incredible amount of leverage all around the world, which is like why they can impose sanctions on Iran, why they can impose sanctions on Russia, and all of these different places. So America has the strongest hand, 100%.
And allow me to interrupt just for a moment. K2 Keep on Trucking came in with a big 40 on Cash App and says for Mel and Meth Head to the back for 20 minutes. And Ryan, I believe we went through the Meth Head thing before. I believe he's referring to you. Correct me if I'm wrong, K2, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that is the case. You guys got 20 minutes backstage. Thank you. All right. So I'm wondering then, Jake, like kind of if that inflation, because I know that inflation, or at least what I believe, maybe I could be totally wrong. It typically moves exponentially, right? But if for any reason it kind of like had a slowdown and
This is Wix Studio, built to meet any brief. When your project calls for bold creativity,
and the dollar could catch up to the value. I just feel like I feel like there's almost like a pressure for women to you have to support yourself and you have to help support your family to some degree.
Why are you putting it in, bro?
And makes what does anybody have that number? I don't think it's like more than 100,000
Something
a
about
year.
40.
Yeah.
Oh, way less. It's like the average.
Hey man, your mic keeps cutting out.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Shizer. Oh.
We need to locate a bomb.
Alright.
Drone has located a bomb.
God damn it.
10 seconds before insertion. Insertion in 5 seconds. You've located a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
Clear the blast area!
Reloading heat.
Surge incoming!
Tracks released!
Who's moving?
Damn. That was a field dog.
The diffuser has been recovered. 1 Op 4 remaining.
They're defensive!
15 seconds left.
What the fuck is this shit doing?
10 seconds left. 5 seconds left. Bomb diffusion initiated. Protect the diffuser. Down to 1 friendly. Op 4 neutralized. Mission successful.
Which is
Yeah.
like 40 to 60 or something
Yeah,
like that.
I'll even get granted $60,000, right? And in order to support a family, I mean, if you live out in like Midwest Podunk nowhere with one stoplight, that's 60,000. We'll go a little further for sure, but 60,000 near within 60 miles of any major city, that dollar's not going to be stretched at all. So I'm wondering if like that pressure to help support, like obviously a woman would prefer to support as best as she can, right? We are in a supportive role, but I wonder if that pressure pushes us to that point of, you know, go get a degree, make good money, help
your drone to
provide
locate a
whatever,
bomb.
whatever, so that you and your husband can raise your children and you can put them through college and you can, you know,
Drone has located a
provide
bomb.
a little bit more than just the necessities. I wonder if that would kind of trickle it back a little if we didn't feel that need to some degree.
Well, it's a mixture. It's a mixture of things. One of them is definitely what you're talking about there, in terms of the fact that the wages are not really going up at the same time at the same rate as the cost of living. But also, you have incentivization. You need cultural incentivization to have children and to have a family. And what feminism does is it disincentivizes women by telling them that you have to be independent. You have to go and make your own money, get your own bag deal, so you never have to rely on a man. And this is basically the common narrative.
You found a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
Jackal, do your thing.
protected at all. Op 4 last stop standing.
Tracks deployed.
Good play, Grid. Good play.
Op 4 eliminated.
Narrative amongst young women these days. Never rely on a man, you have to be independent. But then another factor that has to be involved is that you have to have proper family structures. If you don't have a proper family structure in society, then you don't have any help raising the children. And right now, we're completely fragmented in our society, where we live in such an individualized culture, whereas in other cultures around the world, they tend to stick together a lot. They work together, the families live together, the grandparents help out with the children, etc. So if you don't have that like network of support, and you're living in an economy where the cost of living is high and the wages are low, then it's actually really like not feasible for a lot of people to have children. So there's a lot of factors involved.
I do agree with that support network. I think historically people typically lived within the same block of their parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, so on and so forth. I know from anecdotal experience, like my ex-husband, like their entire family lived within like one.
5 seconds before insertion. Proceed to bomb's location and defuse it.
I'll grab us some intel.
Activating.
Down to one friendly.
Dude, they haven't. Not one person on their team died. Wow.
Seconds left. 10 seconds. 5 seconds.
I love hope.
The time limit has been reached. Secure the area. Keep the bombs protected.
Pass those pipes around!
What?
See that?
Okay, what?
Be advised, Op 4 has found a bomb.
With the scoreboard?
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, dude, pretty lit.
5 seconds and counting. Op 4 has located a bomb. Be ready for hostile action.
Throwing magnet.
You have been exposed.
Try to get through that.
Magnet online! Watch over us. Perimeter defense online.
How the fuck is he there? I haven't gotten that much.
Adding some protection from... Defense is on!
15 seconds. 10 seconds left. Op 4, last stop standing.
Cigar, I think.
5 seconds to go. Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.
One town, so when they do Christmas Eve parties, everybody was 10 minutes away, and it would be a group of over 100 people. And the support network through that, like, I think would better assist, and even with items and materialistic things being like, you could just borrow it from your aunt, or this, you don't always have to buy everything. And then also another kind of tap into that would be getting that second vehicle for the home. When you're paying for a second vehicle, now we have to have a second vehicle because everything's so far away to go to the grocery store, this, that, or another.
Yep.
You can't just go
Hey,
down.
Sarah,
to
I'm
the
going to
market.
jump back in. I've got to just jump out for a second because my computer is
Secure the
struggling.
area.
I'm getting
Keep
a
the
bit
bomb
hot.
protected.
Double.
Forgive me not.
Op 4 has located located a bomb. Be ready for assault.
Jamming it!
10 seconds to insertion. Down to 5 seconds.
Here's a treat.
Op 4 has located a bomb. Be ready for hostile action.
Keep our position. The Kiba barrier is activated. Frag out! Reloading. Changing mags!
This will be fun.
I won't make this easy for them. Needle set.
Op 4, last operator standing.
Prepping needles.
Bakery.
Watch out for the nomads.
There's multiple. Good shit, GG.
Successful.
Stream that I've got, but I'm going to jump back in soon. I just need to swap computers, okay?
Sure, take your time.
All right.
Does anybody else want to add a piece into that that thought process, or kind of where that goes?
I mean, the big issue is that your ex-husband's family, it's a very different world than that we live in today, right? We gave up those, qualities of having to survive off of our family unit, being subsistence farmers. We gave that up for education. We gave that up to live in more urban environments. We gave that up for industrialization. We gave that up for a more globalized, connected world.
Shout out to Ted Kaczynski.
Yeah.
That's not entirely true. That's not entirely true. So there's a direct correlation between the advent of FDR's social programs like Social Security and the destruction of the multi-generational household, because grandparents no longer had to rely on the younger generations, and therefore the household was no longer given the benefit of the knowledge from the prior generations and the experience of the older generations. In addition to Lyndon Johnson's Great Society and the welfare programs basically finishing off a significant portion of what was, strong nuclear.
Disagree with those ideas, of course you're going to believe that it's fascist.
So all I have
it also renders your definition of fascism completely mute.
Because
it means nothing.
Needing an external boogeyman is a feature of fascism.
In his research, Dr. Morrison identified.
You just made my point for me.
It also renders your definition of fascism completely
No,
mute.
because
it means
needing
nothing.
A boogeyman,
Yeah,
and needing an
ridiculous
external
fascist
boogeyman
definitions.
is a feature of fascism. You just made my point for me.
All
I'm a
political
fascist, dude.
systems, literally every single political system has some sort of a boogeyman. Like there's always an inside and outside when it comes to politics. There's always a friend and an enemy. That's necessarily true of all political systems. And all political systems have some form of centralized authority. Your definition is so broad that it applies to literally every single state.
It only applies to the people he doesn't like.
Which makes sense considering that you're appealing to an Austrian conception because they're anti-statist. They're completely anti-state. They're literal anarchists. But the point I'm making is, according to you, every single political system that has a state is fascist.
No, that's not what I said. You're basically straw manning me. You could have just listened to what I said. I was responding.
This isn't a
very
straw
quickly.
man. I'm arguing that this is an outcome of your view.
Yeah, go on and finish, Adam. Let me know when you're done.
Okay, can you provide me a state which doesn't centralize authority?
Gonna get a record, dog.
No, I'm not gonna play this game where you ask me 20 questions after you straw man me. I asked you to be done with it. I'm done with it. You can be done with it too. I'm done.
So, okay, I want everybody to note, I just asked him a question so he can clarify his point to prove that not all states are fascist. He's unwilling to
I
do
never
it because
made
he
that
can't.
point.
He
That's
actually
straw
can't
man.
do
I
it.
never said that, dude. You keep putting those words in my mouth. I never.
Okay, if it's not the case that all states are fascist, provide me a state that's not fascist.
Provide you a state that's not. I don't know.
Yes.
Hungary is not fascist.
Okay, so Hungary, on your view, doesn't have centralized authority.
That's not the only aspect of fascism. But I'm basically, you're asking me to pull like a 10-point checklist out of my mind, dude. I don't have a photographic memory. I'm not.
just wanted to
Well,
have a definition.
I think what he's
So according
saying is
to
if you're
according
gonna
to
make
British
a
scholar
claim,
on
you should be able to back it up. Thank you.
So
right.
according to the eminent British scholar on fascism, Roger Griffin, there's a 3-point test to determine if something's fascist.
Here comes Adam's favorite definition.
Yes, I love this definition, Effigy. You know, you've heard it before. Palingenetic ultranationalist, palingenetic populist ultranationalism. FDR did not have a conception of palingenesis. He certainly wasn't an ultranationalist, and he was trouble. So he's not a fascist. Simple.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to make America great again.
What do you mean? He was a president during World War II. He made what this country is. He made this country great.
He
What are
got
you
us
talking about?
unnecessarily involved in foreign conflict.
Isolationist.
So imperialism is unnecessary component.
If
You have a pre-ideological state such as Great Britain, pre-ideological as in prior to the modern era, as in prior to the 19th century, which is where an ideology came from, who were imperialistic but not fascist.
That's the panel
Incredibly
question.
expansionist, not fascist.
Would
I'd
you
actually
agree?
like the panel to bring it back to the topic. If you can tie it back in, that'd be great. But go ahead, EV3.
Would you agree that if the state forced you to vote by law or else prison, ultimately, would you consider that a form of fascism?
No.
Could you vote to make the state stop them from making you vote? If you're voting?
The
It's
politicians you vote, if you're a voter, exercise a logical attribute of life called abstaining, to abstain as a formal political stance. And if that isn't awarded to everyday people like you and me and everyone else, that's a form of people telling you that they are better than you in some way, shape, or form. They are committed to abstain on issues when it is
Representative democracy is not fascism, man. No matter how
I'm
much
saying
you try
if you are
and say that.
forced, I'm saying in your opinion, if you are forced to vote by law or else prison, you don't consider that to be a form of fascism.
So
Can I vote to stop that force?
So by law, you are forced to not murder because there are penalties for murdering people. There are all sorts of actions which you must perform or must not perform due to law. Like you must stop at a red light. That's not a form of fascism. Similarly, well, at least not by itself. Similarly, a state forcing you to vote on its own would not be sufficient to be fascist. Because fascism is an ideology with content. fascism isn't some vague, airy-fairy label like people like you want to use it.
Look,
because
you're
because
making apologetics.
you think what
Gentlemen,
fascism is. You
gentlemen.
believe that fascism is a smear word that you can apply to things you don't like,
No.
and that it has no actual.
Look, he was the only president in the last 100 years to set up concentration camps in the
Can I
United States.
substantiate
He was
my
a
position?
fascist, all right?
Existence of concentration camps
yeah,
all by
yeah, go
itself
ahead,
does not make
AB3.
somebody fascist.
All right, Adam.
I've been accused of like using world tactics in the US but yeah, on the world stage, voting goes beyond just domestic values.
Which is
aspects of like government resources and government factor and one awarded status on the world stage and the other one is complete. Meaning when the natural inhabitants of a country elect off their own backs a bunch of representatives to represent them domestically and on the world stage, that's considered a legitimate government de jure and awarded de facto status to do business with other people that have other legitimate government de jure. Now, if a bunch of inhabitants are like being forced to make us legitimate on the world stage or else prison, that undermines the world de facto and de jure status given in rank on the world. All in a village that didn't want to be ruled by them, and the only reason why they're being ruled by them and being forced to mine blood diamonds, for example, is because they've got the bullets and the guns. You wouldn't grant them legitimate de facto status on the world stage to do business with, and you wouldn't respect any government that did.
Let me.
Being forced to vote by gunpoint or else prison is, in essence, a form of fascism.
Well, let me ask you though. Well, hold on. I have a question. Would voting be considered a duty of a citizen?
Again,
It
the
can be
politicians.
under some law.
Let me respond to that, Sarah. The politicians that say if you do vote in any Western democracy or democratic country like that, they exercise a political stance or tool called to abstain. You will know politicians that on a particular issue they've decided to abstain on it rather than vote one way or another. Now, if they are entitled to do that, right there, saying that you are unable to do that, and like, on the same voting means that they are saying they are better than you, and you're basically a slave in economic state to do as you're told. You are forced to legitimise what's on the rules or else you're going to prison. It's no different to the people with the AK-47 falling over a village just because they've got the bullets.
Sarah, can I talk this back?
I really want to respond to what.
Go ahead, Adam.
So, whether or not a state is recognized, like this is like a weird concept of legitimacy, and you're asserting what I would or would not consider, or that the people in the world would or would not consider to be legitimate, and you're just sort of saying, oh, well, if there is force involved, and if they are forcing themselves on the people, then they would or wouldn't consider them to be legitimate. That's actually irrelevant to whether or not they de facto have power. Like this is you can have a system of government that is literally right-wing militarism who go in, take out people, and rule over a country, and it's considered to be legitimate. In fact, the U.S. installed Pinochet as a well-known example of a right-wing militarist who got into power via a coup backed by the CIA and was considered to be legitimate on the world stage. So merely because you have an undemocratic means of getting into power, that does not mean that you are de facto illegitimate or de jure illegitimate. Because it's happened before, and you know it's happened before. The U.S. is now recognizing the Taliban.
I agree with everything you say. It factually has happened, but even if you take that template off everything you said and then lay it onto the minor still a few errors, it's nowhere synonymous with forcing the inhabitants of the country to vote by the
Can we tie it back to the
installing a
topic?
president, installing a president or ruling over seen as legitimate on the world stage is something that was agreed to by de facto people that were elected by inhabitants that weren't forced to vote by gunpoint. So
we'll talk about
the straw person is back.
But the aspect of life that he's in, the aspect of life.
Hey guys.
Voting, right, yeah? Like there are give or take. I think in Australia, that was like,
Why do more
I know
Why do more women vote than men?
Can I vote to kick EB3?
You have to pay to kick. If somebody pays, I will happily tuck them back.
Hey,
I mean,
Sarah,
EB3, take a breath.
Hey, Sarah, can I force everybody in here to vote on whether or not we should pick EB using force?
You don't have to force it. You don't have to force me to.
By your non-vote, hold on.
volunteer.
By any of you not voting, if you waive your right to vote, I get to vote on your behalf.
Fascists.
Just to tie it back, Sarah. How can you say feminism doesn't exist? You don't see it anywhere. You don't see its effects anywhere. What about?
I didn't say it didn't exist. I said are the gender wars in true existence in terms of like, are people really arguing about this stuff outside in the real world, outside of YouTube, outside of Insta, outside of Twitter, so on and so forth? Only because, like, I don't have these conversations with my real world friends. I don't have these conversations with coworkers, which you shouldn't anyways. That's really bad for business. But like, this is not a topic of conversation anywhere else I go.
Sarah, it happens every time people date. Every time people date, there's a war between the genders happening, and there's different ideological perspectives that are coming to clash every single time people date. And you see this all the time. If you're a young person and you're dating, and you go on a date with a girl and you're trying to figure out her values, if you overstep a certain line when it comes to abortion and whatnot, then they're going to just disqualify you, and that is a microcosm of the gender war.
That's a good thing to know.
I have a question for Ryan.
All right, I'll be back. I gotta get white out.
Values are.
That's
So, but I
hold
have a
on just
question
a
for
second,
Radical Coder.
Andrew. Hold on just a
Yes,
second.
he
'cause
is a
You
feminist.
fucking hold on. I have a question for Radical Coder.
I want to
It's very
respond
important.
to Jake. Hold on, and then the floor is all yours, Andrew. I promise.
But he's in pursuit of knowledge. You can already tell he's a fucking idiot.
Hold on.
I think you already blocked me,
And
Andrew, so it's okay.
Jake, to your thought on the.
Well, I'm
dating,
here now,
I think-
Jake. I'm here now,
Andrew,
Jake.
And what? What?
Hold on. I wanted to respond,
Who wants
gentlemen.
to smoke?
Jake, I think that inevitably, I think that's established in your principles and values, right? Like where you stand on something. And I think that's a good thing. It's just the same as if somebody smokes or something and you don't like.
Why are you
dating
picking on me,
people that
Sarah?
smoke.
You
Because
gonna
you were
fucking pick on
smoking.
me?
It was right here
Really?
in front of me. I don't mind that you smoke, Andrew. You smoke all you
Yeah,
want.
Sarah, what's up?
What?
Let him get through it.
But what I'm saying is that's like just establishing a boundary or a value or a principle of some sort. But I don't know if it's necessarily like banking in on like we're having an argument about feminism. right? Like on that date, if somebody said, "Oh, you believe in abortion," you know, or this or that, I just don't think that will jive or whatever the case. I would choose rather not to go forward.
Can I just make a quick suggestion, Sarah? Can you put me and Andrew in a 2-on-2 with Ryan and the other bloke, the Fox?
Somebody can pay for it, and we'll
But
do it.
wait, hang on. They will. But before they do, I do have a question for Ryan. This is an all-important question.
What do you got?
Do you think that if there's an insect bite on the penis versus the vagina, that it's worse on the penis?
What?
I mean, I was thinking about this. Like, it's got to be way worse, right, for men.
Thinking about, huh?
Well, okay, so hang on. So think about it.
Test it out yourself.
Hang on, calm down. So from like, calm down, pursuit of knowledge. I'm giving you. You're in the pursuit of knowledge. You should want to know these things. So anyway, so the point is, shut up, you insane fucking lunatic. So real quick, if you had, so like a woman's vagina, it's mostly external, right? Man's penis external. The bug bite aspect. Is it worse on a man, Ryan? It's got to be worse on a man.
It'd be kind of hard to compare because you can't experience.
If anyone
both,
wants
right?
to pay
What do
for
you
me
think,
to
though?
take
Have you ever had a bug bite there, Ryan? Have you ever had a bug bite there?
I don't think so, but I've also never had a vagina. So.
Yeah, no,
Do you
but
mean on the
you can
pink-
still fast.
Andrew does.
But hang
Do
on,
you
hang on.
mean on the pink
Chatter
parts?
Hang on,
Or like
shut up,
sensitive?
pursuit of knowledge. So anyway, Chatter brought this up. He made a good point. He was like, what about ticks? He was like, what about ticks? Like, could a tick get in there on a chick? Yeah, but then you know what? Pursuit of knowledge. But then I looked it up.
It can also go inside your dick.
The pursuit of knowledge. They can't. They can't. You didn't know that. You're in the pursuit of knowledge. You didn't even fucking know that. You idiot. Anyway, this is
Well,
for.
this is why I'm here. I'm pursuing
Where are we
the
going with
knowledge.
Why don't you stop talking as we pursue the knowledge for a second while I talk to Ryan? Ryan, it's got to be worse on that. It's got to be worse.
I don't know. Yeah.
Take me in, Ryan. Take me in because I can answer this. The balls are like way less sensitive, right? And like that's like
You don't have a fucking vagina. You can't answer it. You can't fucking answer this question. You don't have a fucking vagina. You got to like.
we have to discount the pink
Before we go any forward, Betwixt, no, you can test my principles all you want, but I veto your $5. You can keep sending it all you want. Andrew is one of my favorites, and he's always welcome here. You cannot boot him. Understood? Same to you, Orca Speaks. You keep trying. Go ahead, keep trying.
You can boot Ryan.
Yeah, you've also. I'm one of your favorites. You say that every time I come on. That you do.
You're my favorite. You're my favorite.
I'm happy
but
to take
The
on
favoriteest
Wilson.
favorite.
But
I'm
the
happy to
favorite
take on
is the
Andrew Wilson
favorite.
and Rattlesnake TV. Soon as
Can we roll to
and the
see if it
concept of
bounces
rights.
off?
All right. So
Can we
who did we want to speed date? We wanted Jake, Andrew,
Me and Andrew.
Ryan, and who?
Me and Andrew.
And
Wait.
the Fox guy.
EB3?
Me and Andrew.
No.
Hold on. So,
EB3
so
and
Oh, the Fox guy, Kirby.
the
Fox
original
guy, yeah.
test was Melanie and Coder, but Coder, I have a question. Who would you rather be debating on your side, me or Melanie?
Andrew, are
I'd
you
be
scared
okay
of me?
with
All right.
Who am I scared of?
Are you scared of me, Andrew?
Okay, yeah, let's 1v1 right now.
Yeah. Well, me and
I'm
Andrew
happy to
will
see
be
that
one.
as well. The 1v1. I do need to go to the toilet. So.
Wait, 1v1 with who? Andrew and
I don't know. Whoever
Andrew
this
and
fucking
that
idiot
traitor.
is.
Andrew
Whoever
and
this
that
idiot
traitor.
is who's calling me out, they all think they're fucking heroes until we
Which
actually get
ones?
into a debate. I don't know.
Which-
Whoever the fuck it is.
It's the one showing
Me,
you
Sarah, Sarah, me, EB3. me.
EB3. Okay. All right, gentlemen. And,
Wait, hang on.
and
Are you that lunatic? Are you that lunatic British dude who made the weird ass fucking videos where you were like in low light and you look sweaty and shit?
Yes, he is.
I come in and straight out of it.
All
makes
right,
sense.
gentlemen, here
Back in the man
I'm
trail.
gonna give you lovers your time. Warpig Gaming with the Big Ten says, Sarah, good to see you, ma'am. Towards the 2v2, Andrew and Jake, the Snake versus Furby and Brian. All right,
We'll
we
do
will
this
put
after.
that.
We'll do
We'll
it
put that
after.
on hold because Bonley sent a big 50 and says, let Andrew do whatever he wants. Okay, heard, understood, and
Get out the
here we go.
ticks.
You never thought about the tick question? It's the question of our time, you know? All right, so what do you want to know?
How'd you do, Andrew? Pleased to meet you finally.
Yeah. So get to whatever it is you want to get to.
I've heard you say for years, and and you bored of it as well. You know the concept of rights being in what you consider to be entitlements without duty.
Yeah.
And as obviously a Christian, you're a follower of the Christ. You obviously, and I've heard you as well on other shows, like slapping hoes and sinners about with the concept of God-given free will. Universal free will under the same logical branch. Right, yeah? Using it.
Sure.
Right, yeah. So there's a clear distinction between freedom, freedom to blink, fart, scratch your ass, walk your dog, this and that.
Can you? I just want to ask for one just quick favor. If you can maybe crank your audio up a little bit. You're very quiet.
My apologies. I'll get closer to me. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better, but maybe speak up even more.
I'll do it on my end. I think I
Just maybe
cranked
crank him up a little bit.
down earlier because he was coming in a little too loud. EB3, can you test your mic again for me, please?
Testing 1 2 1 2.
Much better. Go ahead.
Okay. Right. So you're obviously aware of, and you've used them yourself, the clear distinction between freedoms and rights. But in your logical precept of rights being, as far as you're concerned, entitlements without duty, it's flawed because freedoms are relinquished for rights. For instance, I'm paraphrasing you, but you say
wait, can you qualify something for me real quick, just so that we don't semantically speak past each other? When you say that freedoms are limited for rights, what does that mean?
I said relinquished.
Yeah, what does that mean? Are they relinquished for rights?
Surrendered.
How? Wait, okay, which freedom is relinquished for rights?
Let me finish speaking, man.
No, you need to qualify.
I'm going to qualify it now. I'm going to qualify it.
Listen. Hang on. I'm not trying to blow past you. I just want to make sure we don't equivocate.
Can I finish saying what I want to say?
Just listen for 5 seconds, and then you can speak.
I'll say EB3. He's running a line of logic with you, so we're going to go step by step.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we don't equivocate. I just want to make sure we don't speak past each other, and that I understand exactly what it is that you're saying and why it is you're saying it. Can you tell me what this means when you say, when you have a right, you necessarily are giving up what?
Freedom.
Okay, can you tell me how that works?
And I'm going to provide an example. If you'd let me finish, I would have answered your question, but you actually...
Dude, calm down. I just want to make sure that we don't speak past each other. That's it. Being very good faith here. Can you be good faith back?
Right. Paraphrase me and stop me when I'm in error. Right now, I'm paraphrasing.
I'm not paraphrasing. I'm asking
that was an accident, an error. I'm paraphrasing you. Stop me when I'm in error. You say often in your debates that, as an example, do you have a right to own a gun? And they answer, obviously, yes. Under the American Constitution, you do, correct?
Sure.
Right, and then you say, do you have a duty to own one? Am I right so far?
Do you have a duty to own a gun?
Yeah,
that would be no.
With that after, when they answer, you normally follow up with that. Am I correct thus far?
Sure.
Okay, I'm following. Now I'm getting you to follow the trail of logic, but that's the wrong question. Do you, under God, the universe, have the freedom, regardless of what country you're in, where you are, to own any gun you want, regardless of consequence, i.e., laws of mankind? You don't have the freedom to own a gun, regardless of consequence.
No.
How so?
Oh wait, I'm sorry. This is why I was asking for the qualifier. You said regardless of consequence?
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, so you can do anything you want regardless of consequence.
Right, so that's a freedom that you are giving up, right, yeah, in order to own a gun, right, yeah, legitimately, to exercise a right to own a gun legitimately. You're giving up freedoms because you can obviously own any gun you want under God, regardless of consequence, regardless of the laws of man and what happens to you. You can, and people do criminal. The laws of mankind, you obviously know, don't prohibit, don't stop murders and prohibit using drive-by shooting.
Hang on. I've heard you out now. So you have a right to rape a woman then, regardless of consequence. Regardless of consequence, if you have a regardless of consequence, you do have a right to rape a woman, right?
Right. I'm going to answer you. Please don't interrupt.
Can you answer my question, please?
No.
No, why don't you?
All right, because you're misconstruing rights and freedoms.
Can you answer my fucking question?
You're using rights and freedoms, right? Yeah, interchangeably and nowhere synonymous.
To rape a woman based on the if there's no consequence, do you have the right to do that?
No.
Why not?
Right, yeah, because you're misconstruing rights and freedoms.
Can you answer my fucking question? Why not?
Look, it's not written in law anyway. You have that right.
What do you mean it's not written in law? So if it was written in law, you did have a right to grape the woman?
Well, right. Yes,
It's
rights
fucking
are
stupid,
short.
bro.
No, listen, rights are short for legal rights. If you have a right to something, it's legally written down in law somewhere where you can go and look it up. Whereas what's lawful, which is ultimately what your freedoms are that vast, they're too vast to be calculated. You don't need it
Then
written
you're
down
making
in
an
law.
argument for me.
Not at all. Right,
Yeah, sure you are. So what you're doing is you're saying
no. Let me respond without you into
me. I just let you talk a bunch.
When you finish Bergen like Destiny,
I just let you talk
when
a bunch.
finish
I've just let you talk a bunch. Let me get my words in, then you get your words in. I promise. Very simple. You're actually making my argument for me that rights are a social construction. You affirm that they're a social construction because you then say, what about absent the consequent? Can you do anything absent a consequent? Sure. So I can say you have a right to grape a woman then if there's no consequences. Your answer to this is nothing. You have no answer to this, you fucking dolt, because that's where your line of reasoning goes. Go ahead. I want to hear anything. Go, give me anything.
You're misconstruing my argument. You're straw manning. You're defeating the House of Cards. I haven't said. You are using rights and freedoms synonymously. When I said, listen, women get raped, crimes happen. They are exercising their freedoms under God, regardless of consequence. That's why they get held accountable for it, because they don't have a right to commit.
Well, but do you understand when you say regardless of consequence, why don't you have a right to grape?
Because they are not. I agree with you that their rights are social constructs. I'm not
And why
denying that.
don't you have a right to grape?
Because it's not written down in law.
Okay, so all that is required to grape then is that it's written in law. You can.
No, I'm saying that if you have a legal right to something, it is written down in law.
Okay, but can you answer my question? Is it immoral to grape?
Well, it's immoral to harm anyone. Yeah.
Okay, why?
Because I'm a Christian and follow Christ, man. You're supposed to
Okay,
love
great.
one another.
So you have an epistemic foundation based on the teachings of Christianity.
Yes,
right?
I'm saying you have a
Okay. So
misinterpretation.
then when you're talking about rights, and you agree with me that they're just social construction, you could feasibly then under the social construction have a right to grape, right?
Well, I suppose if you were.
Then what are we arguing
you lived
about?
in that type of society.
Then
I
what
don't
are we
know.
arguing about?
I'm arguing because you've never heard this argument before. You're using rights and freedoms synonymously.
I've heard this argument a million times. Your entire position literally reduces to relativism.
You use rights and freedoms synonymously. You say rights are a entitlement, absolute duty. But
Yes.
That's not true.
Okay, then what is a right?
A right is an entitlement, right? Yeah, that is a
Absent a duty. Thank
no,
you.
but there is an obligation to.
What's the
people.
obligation?
The duty is, right, yeah, let me finish speaking. Right, your questioning is, do you have a right to own a gun? Yes. And then
Do you have a duty to own a gun?
Yeah, you can't, you have to interrupt me.
Well,
Let's see if I
no,
can do it.
listen,
Let's see if I
hang
can
on.
do it without you interrupting me.
I need to make sure that we get this semantically correct. When you say, and you are correct when I say a right is an entitlement absent duty. What I'm asking you is any of the rights you cite to me that are rights to give me the equivalent of the absence of duty. So if you say you have a right, stop, bro, stop. So if you say you have a right to own a gun, I want to know if you have a duty to own a gun. If you have a right to freedom of speech, I want to know if you have a duty. Hang on, I want to know if you have a duty to engage in freedom of speech. If not, then it seems like you're adopting my worldview, not me yours. But anyway, go ahead.
If you exercise your right to own a gun, you have a duty not to own any gun, regardless of consequence.
Why?
Because you become a criminal and you would lose your right to own a gun.
Well, that's a consequence, so that makes no sense.
No, you're misconstruing rights and freedoms.
I'm not misconstruing anything.
Right, criminals. Let me stop speaking. Stop spurging like Destiny. Oh, yeah?
Nobody's
Criminals
fucking
exercise-
spurring except you, bro.
Like Destiny. Let me finish speaking now. Right, yeah? Criminals exercise their freedoms under God every day. Yeah, regardless of consequence. Right, yeah? Whether they are acting sinfully or otherwise, they own any gun they want, Uzis and everything, who drive-bys, regardless of consequence. Right?
Yes.
The police come after them or whatnot. They're
Totally
exercising
agree.
their freedoms. Stop spurging like Destiny.
I just said I totally agree.
I'm showing you a clear.
How long do you get to filibuster
Stop
before you can
spurging
respond?
like Destiny.
Can you lift? Hang on. Can you lift your right hand when you're done talking?
Andrew, stop spurging like Destiny.
Well, how much time do you think we have, bro?
Right. I'm trying to relay a point, a distinction that you're.
I'm listening to your point. I just told you I agreed with your point.
You're making a fundamental error in logic, and you've been doing it for years.
Where's the
Yeah,
fundamental
right.
error in logic? That's what I'm looking for.
Obligation. Rights come with obligations, and duties are relinquished whether you are consciously aware of them or not.
No.
Yes.
No. Prove it. Give me the demonstration.
Under this earth, your freedoms under this earth, right? Yeah, are a principal foundation of where rights come from, right? Yeah, and you obviously.
Hang on, back up.
Can you
Hang on.
stop
Listen.
virgin?
I don't actually
Before
understand.
the concept of government and.
Bro,
and
I don't
rights were
understand
established.
what you're saying. You have to. Can you calm
destiny,
down so that I'm just trying to understand your view.
Pardon me. EB3, I don't need to control Andrew. He does just fine on his own.
The reason I've
But
told me to go,
EB3,
I
I
can't
think
get
where
into it.
he's going is kind of the same issue we were having with you earlier, where you're kind of going off on all these long tangents of nothingness and not actually getting to the point. So if you could land your plane very, he hasn't really
Why
interrupted
are you
you.
spurging, bro? Calm down.
EB3, you've got 30 seconds to land that plane, and then we'll be bringing everybody up here shortly after Andrew returns his whatever you want to.
Andrew's making a fundamental fucking error in logic right now, and he's been doing it for years. Rights come with obligations, and duties are relinquished, whether people are consciously aware of them or not. Criminals exercise their freedoms under God, and before rights and governments existed, right now, people were exercising their freedoms and raping and doing whatever they want and pillaging all the fucking time under God, right now. And rights try to interject the teachings of Christ. The English language does anyway. The English language and Christendom is incorporated with one another. So rights are a derivative of freedoms. Freedoms are the principal, most powerful part of anything right now. Rights are secondary. They are a social construct and all that. But the freedoms of man, what you can do regardless of consequence, are relinquished in order to exercise your rights legitimately. And that is a duty that is bestowed upon anyone that claims rights. Andrew is fundamentally wrong in his approach to tackling what rights are.
Actually, I'm happy. I'm happy to engage with this. If you can you just answer a couple of questions without going on kind of like elongated nonsense? I'm actually happy to engage with you. Are you willing to do that with me?
Perhaps, Andrew, but sometimes, like the Christ, I might answer questions with questions to see if you can arrive.
No, you don't answer a question with a fucking question. You answer the question. Now, let me ask you a question. Under this model that you have, where you're talking about rights themselves being social constructions, it is feasible that somebody could have a right to rape a child?
According to your logic, right? Yeah.
No. Answer my question, bro. From your view.
Right. Yeah, but according to you, right? Yeah.
According to your view. Your view. You.
Yeah. But according to you, it's already happening in your world.
So, according to your view, people can have the right to rape a child, right?
And according to your worldview, it's already happening.
No, I'm asking about your worldview, not mine. Can you answer my question from your worldview?
Everybody is somebody's child.
Right to.
If you consider the age of consent,
Please
16 being moral and
please answer my question. Please answer my question. From your worldview, if rights are a social construction, could a person have a right to rape a child?
Andrew, Q&A sessions are nowhere synonymous with debate.
Answer my question.
Q&A sessions are nowhere synonymous with debate.
You're not answering my fucking question.
I will try to answer a question with a question, and you
He's
can
just
handle
spurging.
it.
He's just spurging. He can't answer any questions. So
yeah, nice one, Rattle.
Gentlemen, let me reset because I do think it's kind of becoming a pointless circle that's not being answered. So let me just give some shout outs. Orca Speaks with the Big Five says, I am a Crucible crew as much as I am Tomato crew. Powder does.
Can I point out, before you answer that last super chat, can I point out he asked me a variety of questions which I answered yes or no to? Yes, no, yes, no. And notice when I asked him any questions, he said, I can only answer your questions with questions.
Insurance that protects your home from fire, theft, water backup, and a whole lot more. Visit squareone.ca now.
And the thing is that is the opposite of the Socratic method, and it is also the opposite of how you actually debate and engage in good faith. When you asked me questions, sir, I answered yes, no, yes, that's true, no, that's not true, and was willing to give you what my view was if you asked additional questions. You did not do that for me. You, sir, are scum and lesser than I am as a debater. You're lesser than I am as a debater because I can do what you can't do. Answer questions.
Can I defend myself then? 10 seconds.
No, you can't defend yourself. Shut up.
Right, listen, Sarah. Right?
No, be quiet. You had like 10 minutes to.
Yeah, all right. If you're scared of me, don't let me respond to that.
Yeah. Nobody's afraid of you. You know what? I'm gonna put you.
We just had 1v1, and all you did was run, bro.
Wrongful Rage already paid to put you backstage, and I'm implementing it now. Powder Dusty with the Big 10 says Andrew stays, and so does Sarah's integrity. Thank you for backing up on that. Bondley with his new membership, and also gifting 5 more out to you lucky lottery winners. And Wrongful Rage, thank you for doing what everybody else wanted somebody to do. We appreciate you. Gorilla Biscuits sending out. That was getting a little like mentally challenging for me. B-Twix with the Big 20 asked for a Pursuit of Knowledge versus Andrew or Jake. Prompt, have him defend why only women voting would be good for society. And give me a second on this one. Orca with the Big 5, answer the question with a fucking question from Mr. Wilson. Yes. And Orca Speaks says, based Andrew. I believe we had another speed date earlier that they asked 2v2 Andrew, Jake, Furby, and Ryan. Would you guys like to do that?
Yes.
Sure. Can I ask a question before we do that, though?
Absolutely.
So I was all geared up for this big Rift stream tonight where I was trolling my chat. It was really fun, and I pissed a lot of them off, which I'm really proud of. But, you know, Jake Rattlesnake had a debate set up over here with one not so erudite. Mm-hmm. Can you explain what happened over here? Because the entire Crucible audience was willing to leave me grifting them to go watch their favorite Australian scumbag. And he got kind of robbed of this. Can you explain what happened there, please?
He's got a sexier accent than you, Andrew. That's probably what happened. That was why.
So what's the real scoop?
Unfortunately, Erudite messaged me, like an hour or two, a couple hours, whatever it was, before the stream started, letting me know that she had work to do this evening and had to cancel.
Which I don't have any work to do.
Well, I have a theory. Can I give you my theory?
Happily.
I think that Jake actually needs glasses in order to read. And I think that Not So Erudite just wears them because, like, women have this bizarre trend where they wear glasses often without lenses even because they think it makes them look cute, right? And I think that she was really just jealous of Jake's glasses, that he actually needed them in order to read. And so she took that as a sign that he was a smart person, that she wasn't. What do you think, sir?
I think that's unfair. I'm supposed to wear glasses and I don't wear them. That's why I'm always like half stupid reading chats, but I think it could go both ways for sure.
This is why I went bald today. I went bald so I'd be less intimidating. I shaved my head bald last night for that reason exactly.
Less intimidating?
Yeah.
Did you tattoo any other things to go with the shaved head on your body, Jake?
No, I didn't. I just went full naked mole rat.
I don't know if that would be less intimidating. Like you look like you're ready to go to prison.
Yeah, I feel like. Hang on, I feel like he offsets the tattoo and the shaved head with the glasses. I feel like that's like the perfect combination.
Hey Jake.
Yeah. I don't know if this is a compliment, but
have you ever heard of
the Hitman from Assassin's Creed?
Oh.
Or not from Hitman.
I liked someone in my chat before said I look like
Assassin's Creed. What are you talking talking about? What the fuck? It's Agent 47, you fuck. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's it, man.
Either I look like a Ukrainian conscript or I look like the main actor from American History X. I like them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the curbside stomp on that
Now,
one.
speaking of
Ooh.
curb stomps, can we get the two liberals in
Yes,
a 2-on-2, sir?
you may. Yes, you may, gentlemen. Have fun.
Can I request that my wife bring me down with a shot before I have to deal with these fucking progressives? Just like I'm trying to lower my mental capacity. I'm trying.
Yeah, well, so I guess to kind of start us off, I think, well, as I was saying earlier, I think the gender war stuff, which like is the topic of this whole thing, it's all like a big distraction, you know, like from keeping people from organizing and talking about actual like economic justice, and we're talking about how feminism is driving down birth rates or whatever, but it's just like not, feminism is not the thing that's preventing people from having families. It's economic reasons. It's people not having paid leave. It's people not having job security.
You admitted that it was before, Ryan.
Hang on a second. Ryan,
yeah,
I'm even willing to concede this point. All you have to do is tell me why it is that so many more poor people have kids than the middle class and the rich. If it's economic, if it's about economic conditions.
So what I'm saying is that people, if you want people to...
Ryan, I'm going to ask my question again. Why is it so many poor people have children if it's about economic conditions in comparison to the middle class and the upper class?
Well, poor people have less to do, so they're just going to fuck more and...
Are we there yet? What's the Wi-Fi? Where's my charger? What is this thing? What kind of bird is that? As a mom, you are the keeper of all worldly knowledge. But when we're out here, together, there's really only one question that matters. Can we stay one more night?
So they're stupid?
They're
They're stupid, Ryan?
Is that the question? Is that the
They're
answer?
stupid. They're stupid and horny. Can you tell me why then, Ryan? If they're not just stupid and horny, is that what is going on? They're just stupid and horny?
I don't think poor people are stupid.
Great. Then why is it that they're having more children than the middle class and the upper class, Ryan?
Are we looking at like?
Can you let Ryan answer?
I don't know if that's true.
We're both here.
Okay, Ryan, do you want to look it up? I'll take a second while you Google it. Yeah.
So my question is this talking?
Can you let Ryan answer real quick? Can you let Ryan answer real quick? Well, let him look it up and then say something.
Let Melanie talk.
Plus, I'll give you your chance to speak. But Ryan, can you tell me why that's the case?
I'm gonna do my thing. Let Melanie talk for a minute. Chill.
Oh, now you need. Okay, go ahead.
Does this apply to like all nations or what's your sample here? Like
Yeah,
first
it's
world?
it's basically everywhere in the world. Yeah.
So in third world nations, we see that increase because access to things like birth control and sex education are just lower.
Prove
You
it.
don't have like lots of.
In fact, I would make the counter argument that in third world nations, especially considering the population bomb, which was a very famous book which came out, where the idea was in places like India, especially where there's a caste system, they need to have less children. That when you're talking about population, the domestic population is actually well versed in what makes children, just like the ancients were. You stick your penis in the vagina, and voila, there's a child. Why is it that they seem to care far less about the outcome of that than people in the middle class and the upper class? You're not saying they're stupid, are you?
They're more focused on higher degrees of slave labor than first world economies might be.
Who is? People who are having
Third world
children?
nations, yeah, they tend to work.
No.
higher
I'm
hours.
not
Think
talking
of,
about
like, people in China.
I'm not talking
for
about the
example.
government in third world nations. Perhaps they are. I'll even concede the point.
I didn't say government. I said workers.
I'm asking. You're saying that the regular people want slave labor?
No. They're working higher hours because typically they need to work harder to even earn enough to feed their own family. And because of that, they don't have time to like learn about or go to like clinics for things like.
So they don't know how babies are made.
No, they know how babies are made. But
Okay, then why are they having so many more babies? Why are they having so many more babies, even though they have unfettered access to birth control? In fact, in most of the third world nations, The United States and Western nations fund condoms, fund massive campaigns for depopulation. Yes, right now, right this second, Ryan. Name a country.
Cut off USAID.
No. Name, even with USAID, name a fucking nation, and let me tell you how many billions of dollars a year the United States and Western nations spend on assisting them with decreasing their population through birth control, and they still don't. Why do you think that is?
So
Even though
most of
they're educated, they know that penis in the vagina makes baby. Why is it that they're still making babies?
So most of these campaigns end up targeting like urban populations in these other nations. They were
The
not
poor
nearly as
populations? That's the urban population.
in rural populations where you're actually poorer than urban.
No, the urban population in third world nations are often more poor than the rural populations are.
Yeah, that's where you see a higher amount of people who are like working extreme hours just to like feed their family.
No, you don't see that the rural populations in third world nations are working less hours than those in the cities.
Yeah, I'm gonna
People
explain.
so people in rural populations inside of third world nations are working on farms. They often work 70, 80-hour weeks.
In urban populations, you tend to see people who are higher educated and able to get better jobs.
That's not true. Go to Bangalore or Mumbai or places like this where they have massive slums with millions of people in the urban
And it
cities.
still doesn't answer the question.
I'm not denying they don't. I'm saying.
Can you answer the
if
question? Why
target-
are they still having babies even though they know how they're made and they're really poor? Can you answer the fucking question?
Well, in general, like there's sex education.
They have sex education and they're still choosing to have
You
them.
can't
Why?
just put it all into the same basket. It's not just have it or not have it.
Then give me what the reason is. Give me what the reason is.
They're gonna have less access to birth control and stuff like this. Even though you're saying they do, you're saying they have the access, but
They have access to birth control. They have the most access. They get free condoms. They get free sex education. They get free everything. They have access to birth control.
Not
Why are
everybody
they
does. No,
still
they
having
give it
so many
some-
children? By the way,
everyone there gets it.
let's say Ryan, you have 4 children, right? But you don't have great access to birth control. You're saying they have low impulse control?
Well, we all have low impulse control when it comes to
No,
sex.
we don't all have low impulse control when it comes to sex.
No,
Yeah,
just in
and
general.
people don't all have low impulse control. Are you saying that poor people just have low impulse control? They can't help it.
Humans love having sex for pleasure. It's probably
Yes,
one of the
I
most
agree.
common adult pastimes, as it probably should be.
No
So-
dispute. But you still aren't answering the question. Why is it that the poor class who is sexually educated, knows where babies come from, keep having babies?
Sex education is not just limited to knowing how fucking works. Like,
Yeah,
but also.
Oh,
again,
I'm sorry. What is
actually engaging
sex
active
education then?
I mean, it involves a understanding of like the reproductive process in a much more complicated way.
So having babies?
Like the various forms of birth control, which ones work for women, which ones are for men.
Oh, there's
Where
this
to
so
even
dumb they don't know how
access
birth
these
control
things.
works.
You might even learn where to access these things.
A lot of people don't.
I'm shocked by the racism on this panel, to be honest. I didn't expect to hear this tonight, Melanie.
Overwhelming, isn't it?
They're
Jake, they're just dumb knuckle draggers, bro.
They're just too dumb. They don't realize
too
that if you put PP in vajayjay, it makes baby.
I don't think poor people are stupid. I don't think someone not having access to
You guys do.
Ryan, poor people aren't. Hang on. Okay, Melanie. Okay. You should let me speak more because when you speak, it's just absurdity.
This is the same thing as in heavily white states in the states, in the U.S., where with the lower grade that sex education has for that state, the higher the rate of teen pregnancies.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again.
So it's not just something. It's not just something.
Wait, no. Back up. I just want to make sure I got your point right. What was your point?
It's not about race. You can see the same thing in the U.S., where the lower the grade given to sex education by various institutions, whether they're in the U.S. or not, the higher the rate of teen pregnancies.
Where?
Where? Let me make sure I got this right. It's
Yeah,
like
make sure
this.
you fucking got it right.
Anyway, yeah, I still.
I have a feeling that they're going to be in
less access to-
certain
less
urban
access to birth
populations.
control.
Where'd they go?
Like that's been engaged with.
Yeah.
No, I think she might have accidentally dropped off. But yeah.
Anyways,
He,
Ryan.
he dropped off.
Yeah.
Ryan, now that
Yeah.
we can get back into the conversation that we were actually having before, you admitted to me before that the necessary precondition for there being any liberation whatsoever is the consent of men, correct?
I don't. I mean, I think that liberation was gained through women and men doing.
Wait,
a
stop.
lot of resist.
One real quick.
Oppression.
Before you guys get into this, and I'm gonna let you guys get into this. I have to ask you a question. Ryan, can you smile at the camera? I will literally take care of that tooth issue. Literally, right now, I'll take care of the tooth issue. Send me your PayPal. We'll take care of the issue right this second. Honestly,
because you have to
like,
be
because that sucks, dude. Like especially
dude, I've had this the whole time you've known me too. Like it's been like this for a long time.
Okay, send me your PayPal. The Crucible will take care of this fucking tooth issue right this second. That's called Christian charity, baby. That's completely fucking unacceptable, Ryan.
I think you're reading.
If you're gonna suck dick, you're gonna at least do it in a way that makes sure that this fucking guy doesn't have any fucking problems, okay? If you're gonna fucking suck dick, Ryan, we're gonna make sure you can do it at least the right fucking way. This is ridiculous, bro. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I am obviously joking. We'll take care of it, bro. That sucks. Does suck.
Are you sure that isn't socialism though?
He gives character.
Redistributing the funds of your chatters. You're taking from the more fortunate people.
No, it's the opposite of socialism. So what it is it's people with a shared value who want to contribute towards somebody who's obviously has an issue that we can easily take care of because he's not in a position to do it. That's the opposite of socialism. That's voluntarism.
Yes. So Ryan, anyways, onto this now. So you disagree that the necessary precondition for any liberation is the consent of men?
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't even understand the question really. Can you reframe that? Like, ask me that question differently.
Right. So if there is going to be any liberation whatsoever, and especially when we're talking about women's liberation, but liberation in general, men have to consent to this.
To some degree, you need enough men to, sure.
Yeah, so men as a collective have to consent to it, because if men as a collective don't consent to it, then they can overthrow it.
You need enough people to push back against the forces that were like withholding those rights from them, right?
Right, but these women. I'm speaking. Hold on, buddy. I'm speaking to Ryan here. So, with the female liberation movement, would you agree with me that they must necessarily appeal to men?
Yeah, basically. I mean, not to men as a class, but they need men alongside them because you need both. You need men and women to like.
So they need men.
This is where I need to point out something.
So they need men.
The majority of women are supporting this, and you only need minority of men.
No, we don't, because what's the majority of women going to do?
That's like half the population already, and so you need a minority of men to get more than half.
So what's the majority of women going to do? What are they going to do? Are they going to vote and then have the government actually enact whatever they want to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, and who's the enforcement arm? It's men. So they're always going to have to appeal to men. It always comes back around to that.
So the issue I have with this like line of reasoning is it's just like it's a very abstract way of looking at like
it happens throughout the world in material reality.
The fact of the matter is that, like, women resisted the oppression over decades, and men alongside them were resisting the oppression.
No, they didn't. That's just untrue, Ryan. That's just untrue.
And yeah,
the reason why this
for their civil rights, and they got them.
Let him finish.
If you try to take them away, then we'll fight you again, and we'll take them back.
Okay, yeah, no, they're not going to do shit.
Ryan, that's totally fair. Women resisted their own oppression. Can you explain to me then why it is, Ryan, that feminists lobbied so that women couldn't vote? Because every time women voted, they voted against the right to vote.
Feminists lobbied against women having the right to vote.
Yeah, in fact, they lobbied local governments to make sure women couldn't vote, especially when it came to their own right to vote, because, as early feminists often said, women haven't made in shade, and they won't actually vote in order to eliminate their position in society, which is a much higher position generally than men had, because they had the moral position. Hang on, Ryan, I'll demonstrate this for you. The right to women to vote is which amendment?
19, right?
Right. Now, the right to prohibit alcohol was which amendment?
21st.
Well, the 18th. Now, is 18 lower than 19? How did women get that passed even though they didn't have the right to vote?
You're saying women got the 18th Amendment passed?
Yes, most certainly.
Okay.
Most certainly it was Christian women's leagues who got that right. Hang on, they got that right to pass. How were they able to do that, Ryan, even though they didn't have the right to vote?
Probably through other pressures.
They were able to lobby men. They were able to lobby men, their husbands, et cetera, in order to push that through because they were in a position where they had the moral high ground. But hang on. Early feminists, though, actually moved to create restrictions on women being able to vote on the vote, because when the early votes happened, women were voting against it. And so the thing is, Ryan, is like the wool's kind of been pulled over your eyes here. Honestly, I think that women would prefer not to be debt slaves, and I think that women would honestly prefer to go back to a position where they did not hold almost 50% of the nation's debt in just under 100 years. And when you poll women and ask them if they would prefer not to have any debt, they say yes. What if there was an obligation? Hang on, let me finish. What if there was some kind of obligatory system that said that men, for instance, had to support their families or they went to jail? Those would be coverture laws. We already have those.
Okay, I have a question.
You went to fucking jail if you didn't take care of your family, and now you don't, Ryan. That's a much worse system.
Andrew, are you saying women should bring back 4B to get what they want?
What is 4B?
With not having sex with men?
It's a little South.
Nobody had sex with those chicks anyways. Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you.
So actually, hang on. There is a form of empowerment which does happen if women stay chaste. It's called. So this was the sisterhood aspect has changed drastically over the last 80 years, especially. But early on, actually, women wanted to keep chastity intact because they felt like they could take their pick of men who were resource providers, and it worked out extremely well for them.
The women
So here's the thing. If 4B meant that women were chaste and not that they were checking out of ever dating men, but that they were pursuing the virtue of chastity, the answer would be yes.
So in other words, if they did 4B,
that makes no sense.
Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you.
Literally, your retort makes no sense. Can you explain how your retort makes sense?
Because you literally said that you have a way that you would prefer they do it.
Yeah.
Which demonstrates to me that if they actually did 4B like how they did it in Korea, that would pressure.
And how did they do it in Korea? What they did in Korea
do something so that they would stop doing it.
makes no sense. What they did in Korea was they said it wasn't about the pursuance. Hang on, it's my turn. It wasn't about the pursuance of virtue, which is what I put as the qualifier. Hang on, stop talking and let me finish. Rather, it was the pursuit of checking out of the sexual marketplace altogether. I said that if the 4B movement was a reflection of virtue, then of course I would support that. And your retort was, oh great, so women should move towards that? Makes no fucking sense, retard.
It's a good thing the 4B movement didn't exist to answer the question of how can we coddle Andrew more.
It's a good thing I can interrupt the panel whenever I want. In with the big five, I calculated that this panel would evolve. Uhuru? What's Uhuru? Uhuru? More on my Patreon. I think that's a shout out to our Gematria friend. Orca speaks with the big five. Let's ignore the rest of the conversation and continue to compliment the not people Australians. Shout out to you, Jake. And Get Down Demon says it's a hilarious listen. You poor thing. It's hilarious listening to two dudes that don't get laid talk about low impulse control of people who can. That's unfortunate.
Ryan, do you get laid? By women?
Yes, I can have sex if I wanted to have sex right now.
That wasn't the question.
We asked, do you? Do you,
Ryan?
No. Recently, dude, I was like, I was in relationships like for a decade on and off, and I've been
with women, right?
Yes, with women. Yeah. I've been kind of keeping myself more for the past year or so. But
have you had sex in the last month?
No. But again, it's.
Oh my goodness gracious! All right, so Sarah.
Wait, no, dude, this is not. No, fuck.
I'm only asking this. Then I'll be quiet. I'm only asking for one thing.
Shut the fuck up, Andrew.
My cell phone died, and I need a drink, and I need a pack of smokes, and my wife has to bring them. And the only form of communication I have with her right now is that she watches the streams. So just give me 1 second to make the appeal to the wife to bring me down a pack of smokes and a drink, so I can deal with you fuckers. It seems totally fucking fair, Ryan. Shut the fuck up, Ryan. Woman. Bring that shit down to me. My cell phone died. All right, now Ryan, back to you.
We were talking about women.
Smokes. and a drink.
And we're talking about women who were stopping other women from voting against their right to vote, right?
You half in on the tooth, Jake? We got to get this guy a tooth, dude.
Well, I mean, just bring me on the show a few times and I'll start streaming and I'll be able to earn the money.
I like it. I think it gives. I think it gives him
press.
character. It kind of matches the personality a little bit.
What's wrong with this tooth?
Just one
Funky
tooth missing.
It's funky.
Just one tooth missing.
Yeah, let's do debates. I'll come on and we'll.
We're taking care of the tooth. You're gonna come over to the dark side only because it is the case. It is the case that out of everybody who's ever offered to take care of the tooth, it's gonna be Christians who take care of it.
Maybe.
So, can I go back just a couple seconds? I want to ask Sarah. Sarah, how many ladies have you known? Because you guys were talking about the how someone would prefer to not have the right to vote and all the nonsense that came along with it. How many women do you know in your life that have been like shamed, like older ladies and stuff that stayed at home and raised their children? Who? Sorry, I didn't catch what you said there. But
I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to let Brian know the super chats are already rolling in. We're gonna fix your tooth, Brian.
How many women have you known that have been like shamed for staying at home and raising their children? It's like, oh, you should go get your career and stuff like that. You know, I think it's funny how people like to go around and tell other people what they should do.
I agree. I think that does happen, but I think that's generally a response to people who are forcing the opposite on women, right? Like the reason that movement is so strong is because people are resisting the force that's saying they can't do that, right? Like it's literally a reaction.
And resist a force to interrupt me. Robert Demita in with the big 5 says 1 out of 10. Yes, I started a new goal for the Sandwich Fund since you guys seem to like the sandwich so much. So if you want to hit that goal, please feel free to do so. I think that it is kind of a thing that goes back and forth between women. To answer your question, 10th man, I think if you're a boss babe, working woman, whatever, then you shame women who are stay-at-home moms and vice versa. I don't know. I feel like women are the biggest judges of women. So I think it can kind of like go any which way, but I don't think it's always I don't think it's like the standard. I think it's just
right.
Kind of
So then if you go the Jordan Peterson way, right? I think it was him that was talking about how women will sabotage each other's relationships and stuff like that. So then why would you listen to those people? And you know, I see a lot of times when people in the chat are going, why are all these men up there talking about women? And I'm like, well, I'm a black woman.